starting to ease off the road here in Circuit of the Americas will be underway very shortly in the Focus Health 250. From Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas, this is DRN, the Performance Racing Network. I didn't hate the NASCAR races playing out. I didn't hate a race that was 2 hours and 50 minutes for a change. I didn't hate that the best car at those two races won. We're not going to see a bar burner every single time we race. Unfortunately, every race is just unpredictable. Some are going to have more cautions than others, whether you have restarts or not. I do, though, like the reset and having a pause point at the end of each stage. You're really on a front report on the Performance Racing Network. There's no limit to the fun and excitement to be had at Texas Motor Speedway for a triple-header weekend in 2024. All three NASCAR series will take to the track for a Texas-sized weekend of racing action. 2024 is going to be bigger and better than ever, with more camping fun for everyone, including an incredible camper shindig like only Texas can do. 3 days jam-packed with racing action and a no-limit experience. You'll only get Texas Motor Speedway. A little longer than it normally does because this track is 3.4 miles and has 20 turns. It is truly
way better.
views from the turns. And
Let's go, man.
the front stretch is our raw haul. And my view is a very entertaining one indeed. From the start-finish line to the top of the hill that crests in turn 1, it's in turn number 1, it's a very short distance. Then the cars will traverse that distance at an 11% grade. And they got 13 stories higher than they began. Turn number 1 from my position here on a platform at the end of the straightaway looks innocent enough, but anything but innocent is what it is. It's a 120-degree left-hand turn. The drivers say that it almost feels off camber. That means it feels like it's back opposite the direction that they'll be turning. They'll be turning left 120 degrees. At the exit of turn number 2, they'll begin a gentle downhill sweep to the right-hander, a 90-degree, just short of 90-degree right-hand turn, and at that point, I'll drop the call to Atlanta, Georgia zone to Fireball Turnbull. And thank you, Rob. And it's a short shoot between turns 2 and 3, right under a pedestrian bridge here, just after all the mayhem you see in turn 1. They want to get single file for the beginning of the S's here, and the rumble strips begin in turn 3 to the left. The drivers park that car to the right to go through turn 4 up and down a small hill. Then they get into turn number 5 and they turn to the left again. I mentioned the rumble strips. This is the mini part of the track where track limits are enforced. If drivers hit all 4 tires to the wrong side of those rumble strips, they get a pass-through penalty to the stage run.
Down to my right as you approach turn 10 on a newly paved section of the hill, heading down toward.
That repave has made this part of the racetrack very, very fast. You mentioned turn number 10. It is a blind down the hill left-hander where the drivers will reach speeds of upwards of 140 miles per hour. I'm looking down at the very tight turn at number 11 here on the far northeast corner of the facility. It is a 90-degree corner.
Oh man, what happened to this? Oh man, you go ahead.
Turn number 12, they get up and they make another right-hander, a little quick dip back to the right, and then a hard left-hander, which shoots them out onto what will become turn number 16. I have 2 bridges to deal with over here in my area, and this is really kind of the boxing ring. If you want to pay somebody back, this is the place you're going slow enough to get into their bumper, let them know you're there, and maybe make a pass. We'll be your eyes and ears all afternoon in my little section of the racetrack, and then I'll hand them off to Lone Star Brad Gilly.
Well, thank you very much. Pat Patterson
and I are actually on opposite ends of the 184-foot tower here at Circuit of the Americas. After the handoff from Pat Patterson when they go underneath the Echo Park Automotive Bridge, it's actually a horseshoe. It is a 180-degree section that goes around this tower, but it's in 3 dogleg segments. 16, 17, and 18. This is a real iffy part of the racetrack for the drivers. The cars are real light through this section, and they'll be feathering the throttle. As they exit turn number 18, that's where we start to see a first patch of brand new asphalt here at Circuit of the Americas. They'll finish that right-hander of turn number 18. They'll head straight down the hill toward turn number 19, which is more than a 90-degree left-hand corner. They're still on fresh new asphalt, but they usually jump the outside curbing of this. They go to the runoff area. There are a couple of fresh patches there as well before they start to head back up the hill, another short shoot to the final left-hander, back into the eyes of Mark Garrow and the president of the Performance Racing Network, Doug Rice.
When they come out of turn 20, as Brad described, a tight left-hand turn, they will look up ahead, and the straightaway is almost 3/4 of a mile long, just over 7/10. They will about halfway up this straightaway, you'll have the start-finish line, and it gradually makes its way uphill, but you get past the start-finish line, and boy, the cars go straight up then from that point to turn number 1. From the bottom of turn 20 up to turn number 1, 130 feet of elevation change. That is the view from the turns, brought to you by State Water Heaters. When you need a water heater, make sure you get a State. Visit statewaterheaters.com to find a professional installer near you.
We'll turn the cars loose the next time by. Let's quickly get an update from Pit Road and let them pick who's going to win this event today. We'll start off with Heather DeBow.
Well, I'm going to go with the road course ringer, A.J. Allmendinger. He will get his 12th career win here in the Xfinity Series and his 3rd in a row here at COTA.
All right, thanks a lot, Heather. Wendy Venturini, what are you thinking about?
Well, when we are at pre-race, we ask the drivers a lot of times off the record if they have a car to win. The driver that I was going to pick said no. So guess what? I'm switching my pick for today. On my second pick for today, Ty Gibbs. He's very fast in the Cup Series, and I believe in the Xfinity Series today. He knows his way around this racetrack. He starts 3rd today. Ty Gibbs with the victory here at Circuit of the Americas.
He's going to need to know his way around because he had to go to the back of the pack to start this race for an unapproved
And then
adjustment.
Kyle Larson will fight their way from the back.
They can probably get it done. Let's go to Brett McMillan.
I'm going to go with a little bit of a surprise. A guy that's had 2 top 7 finishes here, including a 3rd back in 2022. I think Cole Custer's going to be the guy celebrating victory lane.
All right, Cole Custer's pretty good road course racer. We'll see what he gets done today. 13 career victories coming in here as we're just about ready to crank it up, Mark.
Let's set the stages. The race distance, 46 laps, 156.86 miles. Stage 1 ends at lap 14. Stage 2 at lap 30. Stage 3 at lap 46. 16 laps in that final segment.
And the pace car pulling the field around 2x2. It is a Toyota GR Supra here at Circuit of the Americas, and they'll be hitting the Geico restart zone, which is at the exit of turn 20. If we keep telling you, that is a hard left-hand turn. It's almost a 90-degree turn as the field snakes its way around here for the last time before we go green.
Jason Brownlow driving the pace car today, that Toyota for NASCAR. The starter is going to be Kyle Hicks. He's got that green flag ready to fly in the Focused Health 250.
And Brad Gilly, I believe the field's making its way in front of you as we get ready to crank this one up.
Yes, they are. A couple of Colleague Racing teammates on the front row now that Kyle Larson had to drop to the back. Outside pole sitter Shane Van Gisbergen did select the outside, so he'll be restarting to driver's right. And on his inside is A.J. Allmendinger driving that car for Colleague Racing here. The Toyota GR Super Pace car is hitting pit road, and guys, they're about to be right back in front of you and get an anger on this racetrack.
All right, so the crowd on its feet here at Circuit of the Americas, the Focused Health 250 for the Xfinity Series about to get underway. Van Gisbergen, Allmendinger, green flag is out. Van Gisbergen gets a great shot out of the outside groove. Allmendinger falls back to the 3rd spot. They're already 4 wide as they go by the start-finish line.
The signature turn 1 will get wild and crazy from the outset of this race to the inside of the racetrack as Shane Van Gisbergen. He's being challenged by Chandler Smith. He runs side by side with Van Gisbergen's teammate A.J. Allmendinger as they bend through turn 2.
No surprise that Van Gisbergen gets out front as they drive into the pedestrian bridge here. Second place, Chandler Smith as they go into turn number 4. Down to second gear. The field trying to get single file as they enter the S's. No big hangups or smoke coming off these cars. Coming to you at turn 7.
Van Gisbergen leads the way as he makes the setup for a left turn up turn 7 now uphill. Chandler Smith in close pursuit. He got by A.J. Allmendinger as they go tight on that turn 8. Dirt flies everywhere. Van Gisbergen down the hill in the lead.
It's a good battle for second as A.J. Allmendinger wants it back. He'll poke a nose to the inside of Chandler Smith. They're about 5 car lengths behind Auckland, New Zealand's Shane Van Gisbergen, and Allmendinger will pull off that pass. Here comes Chandler Smith back to the inside. He'll try the crossover move, but Allmendinger has a nice run. It's Shane Van Gisbergen with an 8-car length advantage down the back straightaway for the first time.
The battle behind the leader is for second place. A.J. Allmendinger under attack by Chandler Smith. Smith will try to outbreak him into turn number 12. He gets to the inside of Allmendinger. He's going to make the pass. Can Allmendinger fight back on the outside? No, he'll go behind Bumper. Behind him, Sammy Smith, also in a battle with the 21 car of Austin Hill. But out front, SVG, about 5 car lengths now as he heads down into turn number 15. Sets up for this left-hander, and he'll lead as he heads right here to the Echo Park Bridge, turn number 16.
Big, long 180-degree turn in 3 segments, 16, 17, and 18.
Got a car going around out there, Brad Gilly. Looks like maybe Chandler Smith did a 360.
He got turned around, Doug. They were racing really hard off of turn number 15. Turned around, got his car righted. He and the 21 were in a hard battle with each other. They've got it righted and back now.
All right, so one of the prominent cars here early on runs into problem, cost him a lot of territory. They'll come back to complete lap 1. And on the point, it's Shane Van Gisbergen. A.J. Allmendinger rides in second. And it's a pretty good gap back to Sammy Smith in third.
At the end of the straightaway, they'll have to scrub off about 70 miles an hour of speed as they go from 4th down to 3rd into 2nd gear. In 2nd gear, they'll make that 120-degree left-hander and then set up for turn number 2. It's about a 70-degree bend to the right as they head downhill.
And it is downhill and back up into third gear for Shane Van Gisbergen. That white and red number 97, 2 car lengths ahead of A.J. Allmendinger. And then it's a couple of seconds back to Sammy Smith and Lucas in fourth. Sage Karam as the leaders come through turn number 6 and under the bridge.
SVG taking it right now in the lead as he gets through, making the left to turn 7. And new challengers, A.J. Allmendinger, as he closes in here as they get into turn 8. They're trying to cut it as tight as possible. Again, the dirt flies everywhere. A.J. Allmendinger in close pursuit of SVG.
No doubt about it, Alan. He has carved it down to about 3 car lengths. These are Call-It Racing teammates in Chevrolet. Shane Van Gisbergen gets to the corner first. A.J. Allmendinger hangs it all the way out to the right side of the racetrack, almost had the right side Goodyear's in the grass, trying to get the good angle through turn 11, not close enough to make a pass. Those front 2 have a monster lead over the rest of the pack. Everything far from being decided for third on back, Pat Patterson, but it is Van Gisbergen and Allmendinger 1-2.
Yeah, Sammy Smith's got the 3rd spot right now. Sage Karam about 3 car lengths back from him. A good battle. Justin Allgaier and Custer battling each other into turn 12. We'll watch them now try to make that left-hand corner. Allgaier to the inside. Now Custer works his way back to the outside. Sets up for turn number 13. It's Allgaier once again. Side-by-side, door-to-door battle between those 2. Up in front, Sammy Smith. Also door-to-door, side-by-side with Sage Karam. They work off turn number 15 and head to the Echo Park Bridge.
Here come the leaders around the tower. Shane Van Gisbergen about 3 car lengths over A.J. Allmendinger. A huge gap to that battle for second. Sage Karam has it now. He's taking it away from Sammy Smith. Behind them, moving up into the 5th spot, Cole Custer. And behind them, heading into turn number 19, you've got Justin Allgaier. A lot of pressure coming from behind with Parker Kligerman. John Hunter Nemechek has been posted. We'll try to find out what that's about. Here's Van Gisbergen now. Will lead another lap. He and A.J. Allmendinger are over 3 seconds ahead of the new 3rd place car, Sage Karam. Then it's Smith, then Custer. Now here's Kligerman trying to drive to the inside of Justin Allgaier as they fight for 6.
Justin Allgaier, the big mover from the drop of the green flag where he started back in the 15th position. He's raced his way up to 5th. He'll race side by side through turn number 1. He's dicing right now with Parker Kligerman as they battle for position.
A couple of scrappy veterans there coming out of turn 2 and down this short chute into turn number 3. It's Justin Allgaier who's plugged in behind Parker Kligerman there at about that 7th spot. Up front, it's still Shane Van Gisbergen.
A tight left into turn 6, and then you make a left in turn 7 as Shane Van Gisbergen climbs the hill. A.J. Allmendinger gets a little close, and again, see the dirt coming up. Sage Karam in 3rd, and it's Cole Custer trying to make a move into the top 5.
Yeah, A.J. Allmendinger is using every inch of this racetrack. No surprise because he is a veteran. The gap stays about the same down here in turn 11. It's Van Gisbergen by about 3 car lengths over his teammate AJ Allmendinger. Then it's Sage Karam, who's done a nice job. He's got that third spot by about 2 car lengths over Sammy Smith. And then Sammy Smith has a host of cars behind him. Cole Custer, Parker Kligerman, they're nose to tail, doing a little drafting. That's the battle for the 5th position as they are halfway down the back straightaway. Van Gisbergen already setting up for turn number 12.
Yeah, the first two basically are racing their own race with each other, but the good race is right behind them right now. Sage Karam in that third spot, Sammy Smith, they all enter turn number 12. Then they are all locked together, less than a car length apiece as they battle into 13. Parker Kligerman, man on the move right now, tries to get under Cole Custer in turn number 13. He can't quite get it done, and now he will try to work him over in turn number 15, but some tight battles in that 5th spot, 7th spot, and 8th spot.
Leaders making their way around the observation tower, but again, that battle starts with third. That's where Sage Karam is. He's actually starting to pull away a little bit from Sammy Smith. Cole Custer has got around Parker Kligerman, but I'll tell you what, Parker Kligerman tapping his back bumper through turn number 18. They head down the short chute, set up for that left-hander of turn number 19. Cole Custer cuts it a little bit short. Parker Kligerman now looking to his inside and the top 5.
Back to start finish line, it'll be Shane Van Gisbergen riding in second. About 10 car lengths back is going to be AJ Allmendinger. Following up on John Hunter Nemechek, he cut turn 4 too close, got both over the rumble strips, and that means a drive-through penalty for the driver of the 20 who had already been relegated to the back for unapproved adjustments on that car. Top 5 look like this: Shane Van Gisbergen, AJ Allmendinger, Sage Karam, Sammy Smith, and Parker Kligerman. This is NASCAR racer Michael Waltrip with Echo Park, the official used car of Speedway Motorsports. I'm inviting you to Echo Park's Coffee Cup Series. This NASCAR season, me and Echo Park will be arriving to the tracks early to meet fans over a cup of coffee and check out some of their cars. Plus, you can win a VIP ticket upgrade and ride in a pace car. Talk about a whole new meaning to pre-race jitters. Echo Park, every car, happy owner. The NASCAR season is here, and Toyota Racing is looking for clashers. Can you clash at the Coliseum with your favorite Toyota drivers? Clashing with the HOA, who won't let you carve bell number 20 into your lawn. Or maybe your Tyler Reddick shirt clashed with your pants while meeting the in-laws. If you're a clasher, then we want you. Be part of the action at toyota.com/racing. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing Inc. Is your insurance playbook too confusing? Make it easy. Switch to Geico and get all your insurance coverage from one place. Go to geico.com today and get it started. From Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas, this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hey, this is Karsto Svar, and you're listening to Country Radio Hall of Famers Kathy Martindale and Paul Shad on Racing Country Classic. It's Kathy, Tim McGraw.
I can see you getting more into the technical. I can see you producing.
It's a fun thing to learn. I enjoy doing it. When I get the opportunities to do it, I try to learn as much as I can.
Hey, it's Kathy Martindale and Paul Shad on Racing Country Classic.
Racing Country Classic.
Each year, vehicle trespasser and pedestrian accidents along railroads change the course of innocent lives, from train operators and passengers to families and first responders. Interacting safely with tracks and trains is the goal. It's important to be alert when approaching crossings. Never drive or walk around lowered gates. Do not walk on or beside the tracks. Trespassing is dangerous and illegal. Don't risk your life. Keep clear and stay safe. For more information, visit metrolinktrains.com/stay safe.
We're back at Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas for the Xfinity Series and the Focused Health 250. Shane Van Gisbergen, AJ Allmendinger have left third place Sage Karam by 6.3 seconds. The man on the move dug early on, Parker Kligerman, who last year had 6 top 10s in 8 road course races. He was third at Indy, also had a runner-up at Road America, so he's been pretty rock solid on the road courses. Shouldn't be a surprise. He has worked his way into the top 5.
We've had a couple of cars get turned around today very early on. Chandler Smith went for a little bit of a spin out on the racetrack. Cost him a lot of track position. The Russian driver, Danny Kvyat, also did a loop around but didn't hit anything. And Mark, that's one of the hallmarks of this track. You can spin out. You can get way out of whack but a lot of times you got to really stretch before you get into something solid.
And Doug, it takes a while for you to get a lap down, so usually you can get yourself back turned around in the right direction, up to speed, and still be on the lead lap. We mentioned that John Hunter Nemechek was penalized for evading the track limit, shall we say. He is 40 seconds behind now, riding in that 34th position.
But he's still on the lead lap. All the cars on the track right now, I think, are still on the lead lap. Problems for Sheldon Creed. We're going to track that down because he has really dropped off the pace and didn't come on the pit road. So problems there for the driver of the 8 car, who is trying to resurrect his career in a new location this year.
Also, keep an eye, Doug, third place Sage Karam, basically known for his IndyCar driving, but in 2023, fourth at Road America, so he's pretty racy when it comes to the Xfinity Series, when you got to turn left and right.
You know, we're talking about the IndyCar crew. We'll check in with our resident IndyCar expert, Nick Gilman, in a minute after we talk to Wendy Venturini.
Sheldon Creed is having battery issues. He's trying to re-rank it right now. It looks like they are pushing him now behind pit wall, but a battery issue for Sheldon Creed early on here at Circuit of the Americas.
That's going to relegate Sheldon Creed to a miserable day here at the Circuit of the Americas. Nick Yeoman, Sage Karam putting on a nice show here in the car with fenders.
Yeah, he's done a really nice job, I think, in selective starts running in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He's a former Indianapolis 500 Rookie of the Year. Won a championship in the Indy Next, formerly the Indy Lights Series, so no surprise to see him running well. He's really starting to come along and, kind of chasing a guy like A.J. Allmendinger, who spent a lot of time in open wheel racing as well. So Sage pretty comfortable right now in that third spot. It's a good run for that Sam Hunt Racing team.
All right, we appreciate the loan from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway radio network of Nick Yeoman.
Yeah, Nick's there to help us out with those guys without fenders, for sure. By the way, Kyle Larson, after starting in the back, he won the pole position if you just joined us, but they found a cracked rotor, which is a big deal, Doug, before the race. He had to go to the back. That was the bad news. Good news, it didn't happen during the race, and Kyle Larson has already chopped his way up from the very back of the pack to the 16th position.
Ty Gibbs has also made a nice jump mark up to the pack. He had to go to the back for an electrical problem, and he's already fought his way back up to 11.
Yeah, keep an eye on him. Very, very fast on the road courses. And Doug, this guy, I think he's oozing with confidence. He's on a hot streak on the Cup Series, really getting it done. Led a lot of laps last week in Phoenix. Made a run at winning that race. It shouldn't be too long before we see Ty get to victory lane over there on the Cup side.
This first stage is a pretty short one. It's only 14 laps, and we've already got 5 in the books. They'll be coming around to tack on lap number 6 here momentarily. It doesn't take them long to get really strung out around this race course too, Mark. And the 2 leaders have scooted away a little bit as Van Gisbergen and A.J. Allmendinger flash down the front stretch and head back up to turn 1.
And you got to believe, Doug, that when we get toward the end of the stage, A.J. Allmendinger is going to quit being comfortable riding behind young teammate Van Gisbergen. He's going to want this stage win. Just 2 car lengths of separation. They make their way down the hill, exiting turn 1. We'll set up for turn 2.
Looks like they're running identical laps there. Keep in mind, they are both full-time in this series. They're not interlopers here. So
14 laps. We've already got 5 in the books. They'll be coming around to tack on lap number 6 here momentarily. Doesn't take them long to get really strung out around this race course too, Mark. And the 2 leaders have scooted away a little bit as Van Gisbergen and A.J. Allmendinger flash down the front stretch and head back up to turn 1. And you got to believe, Doug, that when we get toward the end of the stage, A.J. Allmendinger is going to quit being comfortable riding behind young teammate Van Gisbergen. He's going to want this stage win. Just 2 car lengths of separation. They make
but it's not a permanent marker type situation.
Last lap, Doug, Sam Mayer, even though he had a little bit of damage to his fender, ran a very fast lap. Austin Hill listed as the fastest. Almost 0.7 of a mile ahead up in turn number 1.
And right now, the leaders flash by us. Once again, it's A.J. Allmendinger, Shane Van Gisbergen, about 10 car lengths back as we're anticipating some green flag pit stops coming up here in the next lap or so. Kligerman flashes by us in his bright orange and white car. And Austin Hill's having a pretty nice run, Mark. He's up to 6.
He is, Doug, and as they go by the start-finish line now, 3 to go, and don't they close pit road with 2 to go, so they'll have to try to sneak in. Let's go to Heather DeBoe. We have a few cars now heading down the pit lane.
Yes, Justin Allgaier being one of them, complaining that he's lacking rear lateral grip with no forward drive. So an adjustment for the 7, also in the 17 of Kyle Larson. He did have to start from the rear of the field, but so far he is happy with that race car. Also reporting that the grip is getting better on track. Brett McMillan.
Cole Custer is in. He needs more lateral grip. He's getting a 4-tire change. He also got a track bar adjustment, major adjustment for him there. Finishing up with a 4-tire change, 15.3 seconds for him. Jesse Love also, he needed some help. In 19 and 20, he stalls the car as he's getting ready to lead. Finally gets it retired and heads out.
You know, Mark, I'm thinking A.J. Allmendinger wants to stay out, get that point here, and Shane Van Gisbergen needs to stack up some points too. He's kind of off to kind of a hiccup of a start this year. Down to Brett McMillan.
Chandler Smith is in. A little bit of trouble on the right side. Getting those top.
No, what the heck's going on?
Fuel and a slight air pressure adjustment. Also on pit road was Brandon Jones for 4-tire and Sunoco fuel.
And a couple of penalties being handed out here. Ed Jones gets one for speeding on pit road, so that's going to back him up another little bit here. The only driver in the field from the United Arab Emirates, by the way. We have a little bit of international flavor. Now we see A.J. Allmendinger and Shane Van Gisbergen easing their way down the pit road. Let's go to Brett McMillan.
And Shane Van Gisbergen's crew is waiting for him to arrive. Pretty happy with the car, said he's just a little bit loose in the turns. Let's go ahead while we're waiting for him. And nope, here he is. He pulls into the pits, cruises around to the right side. Everything going smooth so far for SVG. A little bit of trouble on the right side. Finally, they're back around to the left side, jacking up the left side tires, filling up with Sunoco fuel, getting ready to send him back out. A pretty smooth stop after they got around to the right side. 16.2 seconds, Wendy Venturini.
A lengthy stop for A.J. Allmendinger and the 16 team. They went for 4 tires of fuel, but they had trouble on the left-hand side, causing a little bit longer stop for A.J. Allmendinger.
Interesting strategy move, Doug. They will give up the stage points and potential stage win to put themselves in better position later on to win. Let's go back to Brett McMillan.
Yeah, after SVG left his pit stall, he stalled out the car. Probably took
All right, we'll check back in with Brett McMillan here in just a moment as we're about ready to put the wraps on this stage. It'll be 2 to go. It'll be 1 to go when they actually come back to the start-finish line this time. And Parker Kligerman being scored as the race leader, Mark. So he's going to roll it and try to stay out here and grab this stage.
That would be a big deal for Parker. The playoff point, potentially, if he gets into the playoff, of course, the 10 points. And as you talked about, Doug, they could use him for sure. Let's go back to Brett McMillan.
Yeah, after SVG finished his pit stop, he stalled it as he was pulling back out onto the pit road exit. About 6 seconds or so it took him to get that car refired, so that cost him some serious track position.
And the leader right now is Parker Kligerman in that number 48 machine as he's cruising around. He should be, I think, right in front of Doug Turnbull.
Actually, Klickerman's over here right in front of me, Doug, as he's headed to 16. Klickerman will clear the Echo Park Bridge and head back into the view of Brad Gilly.
Klickerman now coming around the observation tower here. He's got a pretty good gap right now on Sammy Smith, who's running in second place, followed by Sage Karam. Parker Klickerman now on that new asphalt, the short chute between turns 18 and 19. He makes that second to the last left turn before heading back up the hill toward the final corner in front of you, Duncan Martin.
So as he works his way out of turn 20, Parker Klickerman looking to win his first stage in 2024. He's got the spiked light coolers machine now in the wind, crosses the start-finish line, heads to turn 1 with about a 20-car length advantage.
Parker Klickerman started outside row 6th in the 12th position, but he steadily made his way one position at a time up to the third spot under green. Now it looks like he's going to easily win stage 1 if he can just keep it between the lines, Doug.
It certainly looks that way with a big advantage, and Klickerman said this season a big goal for him was to bank stage points and help him with the playoff standings, and he certainly has a big advantage here at stage 1 as he gets through turn 5. He's got about a 3 or 4 second lead over second place Sammy Smith. Klickerman now goes under the Toyota bridge.
Klickerman making that left in position to get the stage point as he makes the left turn up the hill and into turn 8, which has become so dirtier and dirtier as this race goes on. Klickerman nearly dirt tracking it as Sammy Smith is in pursuit. Sage Karam trying to get the 8-car of Sammy Smith. Won't do it here as they head down the hill.
Yeah, he may not have had the pace of A.J. Allmendinger and Shane Van Gisbergen, but Parker Klickerman certainly looks like he's going to be a player today, shooting his way to the third spot in this race before the pit stop started. That tangerine and pearl white car for Big Machine Racing is on the back straightaway. It's Parker Klickerman, the driver from Connecticut, looking for a stage win. Pat Patterson with a handful of corners to go.
Pat wide open now, heads back down through the gearbox. Klickerman as he approaches turn number 12 behind him. That battle for seconds a little closer as we see Sammy Smith trying to hold on to that right now. Sage Karam right in that with him as they work up their way uphill to turn 13. Here's the leader, Parker Klickerman, around 13. Pulls the steering wheel over to the right, hits the rumble strips, heads down here to turn number 15. No battle, or excuse me, about 3 car lengths separate second and third, Brad Gilly, as they head to the bridge.
Parker Klickerman and this Big Machine Racing team did qualify for the postseason in 2023. Certainly hoping to do it again, and it looks like they're going to have an extra playoffs point to be able to take there with him. Parker Klickerman now heads down the hill, the short chute, setting up for the left-hander of turn number 19. Very smooth, absolutely no pressure behind him. In fact, he even keeps it on the racetrack before he heads up to that final turn.
Parker Klickerman in clean air right now. He will come back to the start-finish line and claim victory in stage 1 here. It's going to be a battle for the runner-up spot as they dash back down this front stretch here, but give it to Sammy Smith as he holds off the charge of Sage Karam. Parker Retzlaff will come in 4th here. Looks like Riley Herbst will grab the 5th spot. Austin Hill to 6th. 7th will be Alex LeBay. A.J. Allmendinger 8th. 9th will be Josh Balicki. Shane Van Gisbergen rounds out the top 10 here at the conclusion of stage 1 and the Focused Health 250.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy happiness. But money did buy your boat, where you find peace fishing, unlike at home with 3 teenage daughters. Because fish never argue about who stole whose crop top, or get mad the other fish used up all the hot water. No, they just swim around, never embarrassed to be seen with you in public. So save money by bundling your boat or RV insurance with home or auto from Progressive. And buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The NASCAR season is here, and Toyota Racing is looking for clashers. Did you clash at the Coliseum with your favorite Toyota drivers? Clashing with the HOA, who won't let you carve bell number 20 into your lawn. Or maybe your Tyler Reddick shirt clashed with your parents while meeting the in-laws. If you're a clasher, then we want you. Be part of the action at toyota.com/racing. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing Inc.
Why wait until the race is over to do a victory lap? This is Las Vegas, and in Las Vegas, it's all about how you celebrate. NASCAR fans, start your engines at visitlasvegas.com. That's visitlasvegas.com. Parker Klickerman has grabbed his first stage win of 2024, grabbing the opening stage of the Focused Health 250. He's the 5th different stage winner in the opening 5 races. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hi, it's PRN's Brad Gilly. Did you know you can take PRN with you anywhere? That's right. By downloading the PRN mobile app, you can listen to our live race broadcast from anywhere. Make sure you don't miss a second of the action from the track. Download today for station listings and on-demand access to your favorite studio shows like Fast Talk, Pit Reporters, or Garage Pass. Get all the latest racing information at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app. Available in the Apple App Store and on Google Play.
Hey, I'm Corley Joy for Speedway Children's Charities. The mission for Speedway Children's Charities has remained true since its founding almost 40 years ago. To care for children in educational, financial, social, and medical needs in order to help them lead happy and productive lives. So many children have benefited from our group in the past, but we need your help now more than ever. There's so much we can do when we all join together, so let's start today. Visit speedwaycharities.org to learn more. I thank you in advance for your help.
First caution of the day for the conclusion of stage 1, 14 laps in. Parker Kligerman takes stage 1. Alec Ivana, we're hearing a lot about dirt being kicked up on the course. I think it's out near where you're stationed.
Right where I'm staring right now in turn 8. It's an interesting domino effect that's going on because there's a big advantage to cutting this turn so tight and shooting yourself up the hill. Now, when you do that, though, all the cars are kicking dirt onto the actual racing surface. So much so that if it turns...
Oh no, not again. That one on the ground is doing something. It's like playing the NASCAR people talking. But it keeps cutting out. Piece of crap. Is the air conditioning on? It's because of the internet. Same here.
Earlier today, Elena King, she's a top internet content provider, Road for Road and Track. She has her own YouTube channel. She knows pretty much everything there is about cars, and she's spotting today for Brad Perez, Mark, and not doing too bad of a job, Elena.
No, got him inside the top 20. It's all her.
Yeah.
I mean, Brad's just kind of in there for the ride.
Brad's just along for the ride. It's
That's
all
right.
about the spotting. So it was nice of her to drop by, and if you like cars, she's an excellent follow
Yeah, some of the cars she gets to drive, man, that's just not fair. One was 1,900 horsepower.
And it was an electric car.
Yeah, yeah.
See about how that goes. Right now, Parker Kligerman and some of this field will come into pit, but Mark, a lot of them took advantage. A lot of them took advantage of that already.
Right, but will these guys stay out? Have they got a different kind of pit strategy to go on? That certainly is worth keeping an eye on. Want to remind you, tomorrow at 2:30 on PRN, it is the Auto Trader the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix coming up at 2:30. William Byron, for the second year in a row, has captured the pole, set a qualifying record with it, and he'll share the front row with Ty Gibbs. The rest of the top five, Reddick, Bell, and LaJoy. Leaders are on pit road. Let's go to Heather DeVoe.
And first in on my end is the 8 of Sammy Smith running in that second position. He said he has a really great car, top 5 speed for sure. The only thing he's struggling with is carrying throttle on exit. Also in is Austin Hill, who had to serve a pass-through penalty that last run because he cut turn 3. He thought that the grass was fair game, so he's going to tighten that up, but he said he does have a hot rod. Wendy Venturini.
Parker Kligerman, stage 1 winner, just pulling out 4 tires fuel. He said he had a really good turn. Also on pit road, who finished 3rd in this stage was Karam, and he said he has front turn that felt really good, but they can't get the drive off for Sage Karam. Those are the adjustments on his machine. Brett McMillan.
Riley Herb said he was killing the rear end of that car, so he came in, he got a 4-tire change, a full adjustment, and a wedge adjustment on the right side. Also in John Hunter Nemechek, he had a fueling issue, so they held him here to make sure the fuel can was attached properly, filled him up this time, and then also gave him a chassis adjustment on the right side while he was here.
So as of the cars that pitted top 3 off the pit lane, it is going to be, I believe it was Sammy Smith and Parker Kligerman and Austin Hill will reset the field when we return to the Circuit of the Americas for the Focused Health 250.
Keep your tires looking like new with superior coverall tire shine at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our professional parts people can help you choose the right detailing supplies for your vehicle. And right now, get 2 bottles of superior coverall tire shine for just $18. See store for details. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. When it comes to maintaining your engine to run at peak performance, trust Z-Max Micro Lubricant. Z-Max soaks into metal, and it's so easy to add to your oil or gas to disperse carbon buildup in your engine, fuel system, and transmission. Protect your vehicle's engine to the max with Z-Max. Check us out at zmax.com or visit us on Facebook and Twitter to find out more about our full line of products. Z-Max for your car, big rigs, small engines, firearms, and more. That's Z-Max Micro Lubricant, available at your favorite auto parts store.
16 laps down here at Circuit of the Americas. We're at stage 1 break. We'll be back shortly to resume racing. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
A NASCAR moment with Doug Rice and Kyle Petty.
They established the Hall of Fame. First 2 people that get in, besides your dad, is Bill France Sr. and Bill Jr. Now, I'm thinking that your time behind the wheel overlapped with Bill Jr.
Yes, for sure. For sure. I was called to the truck many times while Bill Jr. was in there. What I remember about Bill Jr. as much as anything was him sitting and talking to my granddad. You sit down at the racetrack and they would talk about where the sport was and where the sport was going. You know, I'll never forget, we were doing some stuff. I was called to the truck and I was reminded gently by Bill France Jr. that this was his sport. And if I would like to participate in his sport, that I needed to kind of change my ways. And I changed my ways so that I could participate in his sport. But I think the vision that Bill Sr. had for where the sport could be, Bill Jr. looked at it and said, we're there. Now let's take it someplace different. Bill Jr. had that passion to the day he passed. He had that passion for this sport.
Welcome back to Circuit of the Americas. The end of stage 2. We're about to, the end of stage 1. We're about to start stage number 2. The field is stacked up behind the Toyota GR Super Pace car, and the 2 drivers who started up front are back up front. That would be AJ Allmendinger, who is the control car, and his Kaulig Racing teammate Shane Van Gisbergen. Now in row number 2, on the inside of row number 2, Kyle Larson He was actually the pole winner for this race, had to start at the back after making unapproved adjustments. They found a cracked brake rotor in that car. Kyle Larson has now made his way back up. He'll start inside of row number 2. To his outside is going to be Cole Custer. Sam Mayer is going to be on the inside of row number 3. And on the outside of row number 3, Chandler Smith has been able to work his way back up. Then we've got Jesse Love with Richard Childress Racing and Brandon Jones with Junior Motorsports. They make up your top 10 right now. The Toyota GR Super Pace car making the left-hander of turn number 19, and they'll make another left-hander, but that's going to be on to pit road. We are about to hit the Geico restart zone. Doug Clark can get this race back underway for stage 2.
So Allmendinger and Van Gisbergen working their way through turn 20. Just as they straighten out, they move into the Geico restart zone. Allmendinger fires. This time Van Gisbergen side by side, and with Allmendinger getting a big push, nearly pushed out of shape by Kyle Larson.
4 wide down the front straightaway into turn number 1, semi-controlled. Chaos. Let's see if everybody's able to get through. Allmendinger with the lead. Larson is right there. And the youngster on the inside, now on the outside of turn number 2, that's Jesse Love.
How about that? Jesse Love getting on the outside of Kyle Larson for the second spot. But as they drive under the pedestrian bridge here into turn number 3, A.J. Allmendinger in the lead. Van Gisbergen outside the top 5. And look who's up in 4th. It's Ty Gibbs. And then back up front, of course, it's going to be Allmendinger.
Allmendinger leads the way, making this left turn to turn 7 as they head back up toward a freshly cleaned turn 8. A.J. Allmendinger will cut it tight with Kyle Larson. A quick pursuit. Then there's Jesse Love. Ty Gibbs. Gisbergen right on the top 5 going downhill.
Big loser, no doubt, on that restart was Van Gisbergen as he went from the front row, drop kicked all the way to 5th. A lot of dust at the back of the pack as they snake their way downhill out of turn number 10. But it is A.J. Allmendinger, your race leader, by about 2 or 3 car lengths. Kyle Larson's got second, but Jesse Love is not going away. He is right in the tire tracks, making Larson work. The back end of Larson's Hendrick Chevrolet stepped out a little bit at the exit of turn number 11. Good battle for second, heading down to turn 12.
Ty Gibbs is now going to try to work his way into a battle for that 3rd spot. Gibbs goes to the outside as they turn inside turn 12. Larson is losing ground on the leader right now, and he's got his hands full with Jesse Love. Jesse Love to the outside. Excuse me, Larson now gets around him, and the battle stays door to door between Love and Ty Gibbs. Here comes the leader, though, A.J. Allmendinger.
A.J. Allmendinger pulling away while we've got about a 4-car battle for second place heading into 16, 17, and 18. Kyle Larson has second right now. To his inside on this big 180 right-hander is Ty Gibbs on the inside of Jesse Love. Ty Gibbs will now set up the driver's right of Jesse Love as they make the left-hander of turn number 19. Side by side, Ty Gibbs cuts the corner. He gets an advantage. Now here comes Van Gisbergen trying to get 4.
Shane Van Gisbergen will dive to the inside of Jesse Love. He'll take that spot away, so he's picked up 1 after going way wide in turn 1 on the restart. But A.J. Allmendinger is checking out, Rob.
Yeah, you have to guess that maybe Van Gisbergen missed a shift or didn't get his braking quite right. Again, right behind him, Cole Custer locks him up. He's got more laps on this track than Van Gisbergen, but Shane now will ride in the 4th position and try to chase down Gibbs.
With about a 6-car length lead, it's A.J. Allmendinger. Kyle Larson is settled into that second spot after starting in the back. Ty Gibbs is 3rd. Van Gisbergen passed Love for that 4th spot there as these cars are single file exiting to Essex. Allmendinger opening up that lead.
Heading into the left turn of turn 7, A.J. Allmendinger takes a different approach than I'd seen Shane Van Gisbergen as he drives up toward turn 8 and cuts the corner real tight. Now it's Kyle Larson with Ty Gibbs moving ever so closer to that second position.
Yeah, this is all happening about 15, 20 car lengths behind A.J. Allmendinger, but the battle for second is a good one. Kyle Larson feeling the pressure. In fact, here comes Ty Gibbs. He'll take a look to the inside. Larson's not going to put up much of a fight. That Toyota for Ty Gibbs looks strong, although he's a little wobbly at the exit of turn number 11. That's going to allow Kyle Larson to sweep back to the inside and regain that second position. So it is a heavyweight fight for that second spot. Larson has it, but Gibbs putting the pressure on in turn 12.
Well, Ty Gibbs outbraked Kyle Larson up in Nick's area. They'll see if he can do it again down here at 12. Larson will hold that second spot. They make that hard left-hander. Gibbs goes right behind him in his tire tracks. They set up for 13 now. Here comes Larson to the inside. Gibbs right behind him. SVG just a half a car length back. Then it's Jesse Love and Cole Custer. Here's the leader, though. A.J. Allmendinger clears turn 15, heads to the bridge.
Making his way around the observation tower now. Very comfortable for A.J. Allmendinger. We'll check on that battle for second. Kyle Larson has it. Ty Gibbs wants it. Shane Van Gisbergen back in the mix as well. We're back to a three-car battle for that runner-up spot. Heading down the short chute toward turn number 19. Kyle Larson very smooth. Ty Gibbs not able to force the effort right now. Looks like SVG is going to sit back and forth and watch this battle for second on the front stretch.
Track limits violation for Sam Mayer. He'll have to do a pass-through. A.J. Allmendinger with 11 laps to go in stage number 2 is the leader. Kyle Larson is second. Ty Gibbs third. Shane Van Gisbergen fourth. Fifth is going to be Jesse Love. Sixth, Cole Custer. Sam Mayer will now start to fall back through the field as he makes his pit road penalty. Chandler Smith is seventh. Sammy Smith eighth. Brandon Jones ninth, and 10th is Jeb Burton.
Austin Hill is 11th. 12th belongs to Parker Kligerman. Sage Karam is 13th. 14th to Ryan Sieg. Riley Herbst is 15th. 16th to Anthony Alfredo. Parker Retzlaff 17th. 18th will be Josh Williams. Alex LeBay 19th, and 20th will be Kyle Weatherman.
Josh Bilicki 21st, 22nd, John Hunter Nemechek. Danny Kavad is 23rd. 24th, Justin Allgaier. Blaine Perkins 25th. Ed Jones 26th. Jeremy Clements 27th, Brad Perez 28th, 29th Sam Mayer, Brendan Poole in 30th.
And riding in 31st, Ryan Ellis. Ty Dillon is 32nd, Leland Honeyman 33rd, 34th is Austin Green. R.C. Anderson is going to be 35th, Haley Deegan back in 36th, 37th is Patrick Gallagher, and Sheldon Creed minus 5 laps down is the only car not on the lead lap. He rides in 38th.
That leaderboard update brought to you by Hunt Brothers Pizza, where we love racing and we love pizza. Find your next pizza at huntbrotherspizza.com or download the Hunt Brothers Pizza app. So again, 11 laps to go in stage number 2. A.J. Allmendinger leading the Focused Health 250.
Hey, airline travelers, let's say you have a problem and you need to change or cancel an existing airline reservation. What do? Well, Skywatch is a free service that can help anyone with any airline reservation fix it. Whether you want to cancel it, change your dates, or add passengers, we can help fix your airline reservations so you get exactly what you need. We've updated our computer database and now have access to every airline around the globe. So now you can make one phone call, regardless of who booked your airline tickets, and we'll change it, cancel it, and fix it for you. We know the insider secrets to fixing reservations that the airlines don't want you to know about. So if you need to cancel, change, or modify an existing airline reservation, call Skywatch right now. It's a free call, so let us fix it for you. 800-397-6805. 800-397-6805. 800-397-6805. That's 800-397-6805.
At Progressive, we're making things even easier. We'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Top 5 here with 20 laps down. A.J. Allmendinger, Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Chandler Smith. From Austin, Texas, this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Here's Christopher Bell.
My Toyota Camry TRD race car isn't cheap to build and prepare. I have a pit crew that maintains and fixes my equipment. I have a spotter high above the track watching my back, talking me through turns and potential dangers on the track. I physically train to handle the stress of driving. And I have software helping my crew chief and engineers make the right strategy calls. And with all this, I never take my eyes off the road, and neither should you. One distraction can change everything in one instant.
And welcome back to the Focused Health 250 here at the Circuit of the Americas. We are on lap 20 of 46 here in this Xfinity Series race. And just updating now on Kyle Larson, who's currently running in the second position. He's been pretty quiet over the radio, but he did say that the grip is getting better on the track, and it seems like his car is getting better as it goes on the long run. Now, he does have one win here in the Xfinity Series on a road course at Watkins Glen, and that was in 2022. And he has other multiple wins in the Xfinity Series, but he has never won in the number 17. So he'll see if he can change that today. Wendy Venturini.
Our leader, AJ Allmendinger, has been very racy out there. When he was on pit road, he did lose a lot of position because his gun got hung up with his left rear tire changer. It got hung up on the fire suit, of all things. Very simple mistake, but it could cost him later on if it happens again. Let's talk about Parker Kligerman. He won stage 1, came down. The goal for them was to win a stage and get that point. They restarted in 17th, and he's moved up to 11th. Also, Sage Karam, he came in under that stage 1. He finished 3rd after the stage 1, restarted in 19th, and has been up to 13th position. Sage told me before the race he never has had a lot of sim time. The only other time he's been in a sim was for Road America. He also was in the sim to practice for this race. He said those 2 times are the only times he's had experience, and it's helped him tremendously going into this weekend for Sage Karam. 2.5 hours on the sim for him. Brett McMillan.
Things got a lot more physical for guys at my end. Cole Custer was just punted a minute ago by Sammy Smith. He went for a spin, got it straightened out, and continued on. He had been complaining about Cole Custer had about the balance. It's not bad, but he said he really can't connect the back and the front. They told him, look, just be patient. We'll get you back in here. They don't think there was any damage done when actually Sammy Smith hit him. Meanwhile, Jesse Love has also had some contact. He has lost the rear bumper cover and has now been told that he is going to have a lot more downforce in the car because the rear bumper cover is completely gone. It was dragging for a while, but it has now fallen off. Meanwhile, Shane Van Gisbergen says he's doing okay right now, but one thing he would like is more side bite.
All right, excellent reports from our O'Reilly Auto Parts pit reporters. O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. Another car that we're looking at is the Roto-Rooter responsive machine of Sam Mayer, that number 1 car. He's got a lot of damage out there too, Mark. So he and Jesse Love riding around with a lot of damage, but for Love, this may be a fortuitous situation.
Again, drivers love that back bumper cover to come off. They really do. And NASCAR frowns on it, but hey, you can't start the race that way, but nothing said if somebody knocks it off.
Bobby Allison won a Daytona 500 one time?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it could have been done before.
It's good. It's a good thing. I'm watching this torrid battle between Van Gisbergen and Ty Gibbs. Let's pick that up on the course. They're fighting for 3rd.
And they just got a pass in the back. Shane Van Gisbergen around Ty Gibbs. Happened a couple of laps ago, right in front of me at turn 3. They're out of turn 7 right now, Alec Cabana.
And Shane Van Gisbergen climbed the hill to that dirty turn in already. Locks it up just a little bit as he pursues Kyle Larson, but he's been able to get past the 19 of Ty Gibbs and hoppers through to the lead once again.
Yeah, my jaw hit the floor seeing that on one of the video boards. Van Gisbergen making that pass on turn 1 and Ty Gibbs, because it was spectacular, outbraking and arcing that car to the left. And now he's got his sights set on a former NASCAR champion in Kyle Larson. That disadvantage is about 2 or 3 car lengths as Larson's red, white, and blue car crests the hill down the back straightaway. But Van Gisbergen starting to charge his way back to where he started, Pat Patterson, and that's the front.
Yeah, he is rolling right along and headed to the front as we watch the battle a little further back. Chandler Smith, also Sammy Smith, and Austin Hill. Those 3 cars have been locked together and racing pretty hard. Parker Kligerman right in the middle of that one as well as the leader. Gets through 13, heads down to 14 and 15. Once again, though, it's Austin Hill tracking Sammy Smith really hard over here in turn number 13. Good battle there, Brad Gilley, as the leaders come by you.
Yeah, AJ Allmendinger coming around the observation tower here. It's 3 turns that make up this 180 degrees, but second place driver Kyle Larson. Shane Van Gisbergen's already forgot about Ty Gibbs, who we got around a lap and a half ago, and Van Gisbergen's sights set firmly on Kyle Larson. He's starting to make up car lengths. They'll climb up a short hill to that final corner of turn number 20.
Leaders exit turn 20 and down the front stretch here. We'll pick up that battle that Brad Gilley was talking about. It's for second. Kyle Larson has it, but Shane Van Gisbergen, the New Zealander, is in a hurry to catch it.
Unlike the Cup cars, the similarities are less alike. More dissimilarities between these Xfinity Series cars and the Australian supercars. However, Shane Van Gisbergen very quickly picking this up.
He's making his way toward Larson, about 5 car lengths back. As they go down the hill toward turn number 3, one thing SVG has to adjust to is the H-pattern shifter. He said that's given him fits, but it hasn't slowed him down today, although Larson has got about a car length and a half advantage over him in that second spot as Allmendinger continues to pull away.
A.J. Allmendinger with a great lead as Kyle Larson makes the left turn and then up the hill as SVG gets in so close when they come up that dirty hill. Up turn 8, but can't quite get close enough to make the pass and they go downhill toward Nicky Allman.
Yeah, always fun to watch those cars kind of dance their way with the elevation changes around this racetrack. Kyle Larson has that car all the way to the right side of the rubble strips that slow you down entering the corner. Shane Van Gisbergen keeping it right in the middle of the non-painted asphalt. They'll stay about 2 car lengths at disadvantage. They both starting to pull away from Ty Gibbs. It's a good battle for the second spot. Kyle Larson and SVG.
Yeah, downhill they come right into the gearbox and start working their way down through the gearbox through turn 12. Van Gisbergen about a half a car length off of Larson as they make that hard left-hand corner, come up the hill, and they race around turn number 13 again. Again, Van Gisbergen staying within about a car length and a half. Ty Gibbs has dropped way back now in the 4th position, but here's the leader once again, A.J. Allmendinger. And actually, Brad, I think second and third, maybe catching A.J. a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too, Pat Patterson. In fact, A.J. Allmendinger's running a comfortable pace out here right now. Second gear section around the observation tower. Shane Van Gisbergen makes his right-hander a little tighter than Kyle Larson, but they stay on the racetrack. They head downhill toward turn number 19. This left-hander, they actually go over the rumble strips, overshoot the corner, and now head back uphill to turn number 20.
A.J. Allmendinger has now led 11 laps in this race. Shane Van Gisbergen 9, Parker Kligerman 4. And with 6 laps to go in stage number 2, a quick break, and we come right back to Circuit of the Americas.
At Hunt Brothers Pizza, you can choose from 10 toppings at no extra charge. In a hurry, call ahead to place an order or grab a hunk of pizza on the go. Find the nearest location at huntbrotherspizza.com and follow me, Joey Logano, all season long.
By downloading the free PRN mobile app, you can listen to all of our live race broadcasts anywhere. You'll also have easy access to all of our award-winning studio shows. Get all the latest racing information at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app.
Echo Park, the official used car of Speedway Motorsports, is inviting you to Echo Park's Coffee Cup Series. This season, join NASCAR legends at Echo Park at Speedway Motorsports track to enjoy a cup of coffee and check out some awesome cars. You can win a VIP ticket upgrade and ride in the pace car. Echo Park, every car, happy owner. We're in Austin, Texas at Circuit of the Americas. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network. There's no limit to the fun and excitement to be had at Texas Motor Speedway for a triple-header weekend in 2024. All 3 NASCAR series will take to the track for a Texas-sized weekend of racing action. 2024 is going to be bigger and better than ever, with more camping fun for everyone, including an incredible camper shindig like only Texas can do. 3 days jam-packed with racing action and a no-limits experience you'll only get at Texas Motor Speedway.
Whether your engine runs daily or only when you need it, Z-Max Micro Lube.
Back here at Circuit of the Americas, Doug Rice and Mark Yarrow up here in the booth watching this race unfold. And Mark, I hope that most of the other participants in today's race get a diploma, because I feel at this point A.J. Allmendinger's taking them to school.
Oh, absolutely. I think Allmendinger very comfortable out front. Doug, when he's like this, you know he's not using it all, just in case he has to go to the whip later on in this event.
And he's won this race back-to-back here. The other time he finished second. His average finish is 1.3, but he's not quite pulled away all the way from Larson here, Rob Albright.
I think he's being a bit of a tease. I think he's got more than Kyle Larson. Larson has, however, as they crest the hill and turn left in turn number 1, narrowed that deficit to about half a dozen car lengths in turn 2.
And none of the top 3 are shabby at all at road courses as they head down the hill to turn number 3. This is where it's so easy to get off track as the gravity pushes you into that and almost off to the left and to violate the track limits. But these guys, top 3, Allmendinger, Larson, and Van Gisbergen are flawless exiting turn 6.
Not only has Larson maybe closed the gap a little bit on A.J. Allmendinger, he's also fended off Shane Van Gisbergen, which is a feat in and of itself as they make that approach toward turn 8. A.J. Allmendinger gets a little loose almost. He hit that dirt patch I was telling you about. The back end came out just a little bit. Larson closer than ever.
Yeah, that closed the gap down, Allen, to about 4 car lengths, although Larson goes super wide at the exit of turn 10, and that's going to allow Shane Van Gisbergen to close up. So all of a sudden, these three, you can throw a blanket over them. It's Allmendinger by about 2 car lengths over Larson, and Shane Van Gisbergen got a nice exit at a turn number 11. They're nose to tail. Van Gisbergen moves to driver's left, trying to set up Larson down in 12.
No doubt about it. AJ did lose some ground now as you watch Larson really bear down hard. Through the gearbox they go. Hard left-hand corner here in 12. He's right on the bumper of AJ Allmendinger. Almost gets into him. Now charges hard up to 13. Here comes Larson. He gets a fender alongside. He's going to work AJ out to the right side. And here comes Van Gisbergen. He tries to get in the middle of it. He'll lose, though, as Larson has to back out of it. AJ now under attack. Van Gisbergen once again, Brad, side by side, door to door as they head to the bridge.
3 cars battling for the lead here at Circuit of the Americas. A.J. Allmendinger able to pull away a little bit from Kyle Larson and Shane Van Gisbergen. Van Gisbergen on the outside. That's the left side of Kyle Larson around the observation tower. Now Van Gisbergen sets up to his outside again. This is a left-hand corner. Van Gisbergen crossover move. He drives up to the door of Kyle Larson, trying to take away second in the final turn.
This has been armed combat between Shane Van Gisbergen and Larson, and Shane Van Gisbergen moves to the inside, makes the pass on Larson, takes over second place, but Rob Albright, Larson's battling back to the right side.
Headed up the hill, he went to the right, now to the bottom of the racetrack. That's the left side, bending into this flat top of the hill, turn number 1. Kyle Larson back to the second position. Van Gisbergen will work to his outside as they enter turn 2.
And the S's do not work too wide. How do they settle it out here? Van Gisbergen to the outside of Larson, down the hill and into turn 3. They make that light left-hander, and Van Gisbergen gets around Larson for now. Up and down the hill through turns 4 and 5, down in second gear, climbing the hill out of turn 6.
And remember, this all started when A.J. Allmendinger hit that dirt patch in turn 8. He's approaching it once again. He's got a gap on SVG. We'll see what he can do here in turn 8 as he cuts it tight, avoids the dirt, and makes it up the hill and down toward Nick Yeoman once again.
Yeah, Allmendinger has gathered it back up, but what a remarkable sequence. Great driving by both Shane Van Gisbergen and Kyle Larson. It was ferocious, it was aggressive, but it was clean here in stage number 2. And as those two battled, it's allowed Ty Gibbs to kind of creep back into the mix. Gibbs has opened up a monster lead over Chandler Smith back in the 5th spot. Gibbs has still got about 10 to 12 car lengths to catch that front trio. But boy, great racing down in front of you 1 lap ago, Pat.
Yeah, it was good stuff. And A.J. Allmendinger held his ground, and things worked out well for him as he now gets back into turn 12. Hard left-hander here. A.J. catches a gear, lets the car veer out back over to the left, set up for 13. Meanwhile, second and third, Van Gisbergen with about a 4-car advantage over Kyle Larson. Ty Gibbs has crept a little closer to this group as they work through 13 by 14 and down into 15. But A.J. Allmendinger, Brad, has kind of regained that confidence, if you will.
Yeah, Pat, a bit of a nervous moment on that last lap for A.J. Allmendinger as he did have Kyle Larson and Shane Van Gisbergen racing with him. Now he's able to pull away, but the difference is he's pulling away from a teammate this time. Shane Van Gisbergen once again in that runner-up spot. Kyle Larson behind him. Van Gisbergen starting to gap Kyle Larson just a little bit. Doug and Mark, the question is Van Gisbergen catching his teammate, A.J. Allmendinger?
Right now, is looking 1.5 seconds behind, but Shane Van Gisbergen is not afraid to use the front bumper of that race car. He used Kyle Larson up. The leaders back in turn 1.
We're not the least surprised. These are the 4 out front at this juncture. However, a bit surprised that having to come from the back to do it, Kyle Larson and Ty Gibbs still riding in 3rd and 4th position. They head their boat.
And Austin Hill right now to come in for his scheduled stop. He said that the last adjustment helped some areas and it hurt others, but he mainly needs help on the rear lateral. Wendy Venturini.
Parker Kligerman is in for his pit stop. The goal was to short pit since they came in after stage 1 last time, hoping to gain some track position. It's going to be 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. Directly behind him is Josh Williams sitting on pit road with an overheating issue. Brett McMillan.
And Jesse Love is in. Been given a chassis adjustment on the right side. Remember, no bumper cover on the rear for him right now. It's really helped him on exit, but it has not helped him on the entries. He heads back out in a 21-second stop for him. Wendy Venturini.
Sage Perrin came in for for Four Tires Fuel also wanted to short pit in order to make up that track position and air pressure adjustment as well. Heather DeVoe.
And Parker Retzlaff was also in. He was saying he's a little bit loose and wanted to be tightened up in the corners, so they did 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel. Brett McMillan.
And the number 2 car has been in and already had his service, or 20 rather, that's John Hunter Nemechek's already had his service. He said the car has just been too tight to give him an air pressure adjustment and send him back out.
So we'll have to see now if leader A.J. Allmendinger and Shane Van Gisbergen will pit. This is their last opportunity before NASCAR closes pit road, and of course with 2 laps to go in this second stage.
Jesse Love has had a nice run today. Just got a speeding penalty on pit road, so that's going to ruin his track position here as they came in. That car running out there without the benefit of a rear bumper cover, which actually might be into his advantage here, but he is going to have to serve a penalty for a speeding violation on pit road. And we're going to be watching these cars come back around. A.J. Allmendinger and Shane Van Gisbergen. Do they dive on pit road? Here comes A.J. Allmendinger, and Van Gisbergen is right behind him. Let's go down to Wendy Venturini.
We know there was a stopped car on pit road of Josh Williams from overheating. Coach Gibbs actually went and asked them personally to move the car because Ty Gibbs is pitted right behind him while A.J. Allmendinger comes to a stop directly in front of us. It's Four Tires and Sunoco Fuel. They had a problem on the left side last time with that gun getting hung up on the fire suit. No problems this time. Ty Gibbs is in for an air pressure adjustment. Four Tires Fuel, and Josh Williams is parked directly in front of him that they have pulled up, and he's going to be pulling away. Brett McMillan.
Shane Van Gisbergen has been in. He's gotten a 4-tire change. 4 side bite is what he was looking for. They gave him an air pressure adjustment. 16.5 seconds on that stop. Heather DeVoe.
And a clean stop for Kyle Larson, saying that the car is getting better on those long runs, so he just needed a slight adjustment of air pressure and track bar.
And the leaders are in front of Doug Turnbull.
They are indeed down the hill toward number 3. It is the leader, A.J. Allmendinger, with heavy heat from Kyle Larson and Shane Van Gisbergen. Ryan Sieg right behind them as the pitch sequence has shuffled things. But these are your leaders now. Out of turn number 6, it's A.J. Allmendinger, then Larson.
A big gap. We're waiting for A.J. Allmendinger to get there. Closer than ever. Kyle Larson is approaching the bumper of A.J. Allmendinger, who just misses the corner. A slight bit of blanket could cover the 16, 17, and 97 cars.
Back on the way down the hill, it is A.J. Allmendinger. If everything cycles through, these will be your race leaders once again. Allmendinger has a little bit of traffic in front of him, but he's got Kyle Larson about a car length behind him, and then a car length behind Larson is Shane Van Gisbergen. Back on the back straightaway. They'll do a little drafting as they roar through those gearboxes, roar through the RPMs, headed down the back straightaway towards you, Pat.
They got those cars separated by about 4 or 5 car lengths each now as they work their way back down through the gearbox into turn number 12. Going to set up to this left-hander. Larson gets right to the back bumper of A.J. Allmendinger. Can't make anything happen there as they work their way to 13 now. Van Gisbergen also right in the mix with these 3. Allmendinger with a mirror full of Larson now as they work into and around the number 35 car, Alex LeBay. LeBay gives way to the outside, and it's A.J. Allmendinger holding on to the lead, Brad.
Now, with the leaders having pit, Brandon Jones is the actual race leader. He is followed by Riley Herbst. Brandon Jones now heading up to the final turn, number 20. He'll make that left-hander and turn back to you and Doug.
Brandon Jones will lead them back to the line here, and it'll be 1 lap to go here in the stage because they did not come in and pit. So Jones will be the leader. Riley Herbst is second. Then it's Cole Custer, Alex LeBay, and out of that group that pitted, Rob Albright. Allmendinger is riding 5th. It's Larson 6th, and Shane Van Gisbergen 7th.
For both Brandon Jones and Riley Herbst, they have been 10th place cars all day long. This is an opportunity for them to get some stage points and maybe even a playoff point. Also for Cole Custer, who has spun and has now rejoined this race. He's hanging in there right in front of the race leader as they pass Doug Turnbull.
And that's correct, yeah. So they're getting the track position and the points as Brandon Jones, the leader, exits turn number 6 right now. He's got a fairly decent lead there, Alex.
Yeah, plenty of opportunity to get that playoff point. This is what these road course races offer with the stage breaks, as Brandon Jones has a nice, healthy lead, looking toward a playoff point right now for Brandon Jones.
Yeah, trying to do a similar strategy as Parker Kligerman, who scored the win in stage number 1. Brandon Jones working that same strategy in that Chevrolet for Junior Motorsports, Menard's sponsored machine. He accelerates out of turn number 11, about a 10 car length advantage over Riley Herbst. Then you've got Cole Custer, and then you've got the dominant cars of the day. A.J. Allmendinger, about 3 car lengths behind Custer, running in the 4th spot. Then it's Larson. Then it's Van Gisbergen, running 5th and 6th. But it's Brandon Jones, a couple corners away, Pat, from another stage win.
Yeah, a good thing for Brandon Jones. He's had another hard start to a year, needs to get some momentum, and right now he's got it as he takes his car over here at turns number 13, works the way around, will come over and set up for 14. In front of him is Sheldon Creed in the number 18 car. Once again, here is Brandon Jones. And Brad, this guy needs a little good news. Maybe he gets a little with his stage win.
Yeah, I agree with you. His time at Junior Motorsports been a little bit of a struggle, and Brandon Jones now coming through 16, 17, 18, all the way around, 180 degrees right-hander. No pressure from behind from a couple of Stewart Haas Racing teammates in Riley Herbst and Cole Custer running in 2nd and 3rd.
Here comes your race leader, Brandon Jones. He's going to take this one smooth through the final turn, number 20.
So Brandon Jones out of that final turn, turn 20. Now we'll stare straight ahead at the green and white checkered flag. He'll win stage number 2 in the Focused Health 250. It looks like Riley Herbst is going to finish in the 2nd spot. 3rd will be Cole Custer as Custer now works his way by here. Then A.J. Allmendinger is going to be 4th. 5th is going to be Kyle Larson. He's going to be followed by Shane Van Gisbergen. Then Alex LeBay in 7th, Ryan Sieg 8th, 9th, Josh Balicki. Ty Gibbs will get 10th place here in stage number 2 at Circuit of the Americas.
Whether your engine runs daily or only when you need it, C-Max Micro Lubricant is the force you need against carbon buildup that can damage your engine. Combustion causes carbon and other harmful deposits to build up on your engine, fuel system, and transmission. And carbon is like sandpaper rubbing against your engine's internal parts. You don't want that. You want C-Max Micro Lubricant. It soaks into metal and keeps your vehicle running at peak performance. Find out more at cmax.com or visit us on Facebook and Twitter. Protect your engine to the max with C-Max.
I'm what you might call very good at hide and seek. And since we got Xfinity, we have Wi-Fi all over the house, even in my super secret hiding spots. So I can kill time in here by streaming my favorite.
Ha! Found ya.
How?
You left Find My tablet on.
Get wall-to-wall Wi-Fi on the Xfinity 10G network. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Actual speeds vary.
Big development at the end of stage 2. The stage 2 winner was Brandon Jones, but NASCAR got him for shortcutting the course, so he will be penalized on the restart and have to go to the tail end of the longer line when they get ready to restart in the 3rd and final stage. Josh Williams looks like he's retired to the garage area with mechanical issues in his car. From the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hi, this is Doug Rice. Join me for the latest edition of Fast Talk. I wondered, okay, was that real or was that something that just happened in a test session? Well, they proved it was real yesterday.
Let me tell you something. Testing and seat of pants, being in a car on a racetrack still pays off dividends when you go back to a racetrack.
We have to make sure that we're racing in a market that's going to, percentage-wise, probably give us a good weather weekend.
It's Fast Talk right here on PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Don't miss NASCAR's biggest stars when they light up historic North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's the NASCAR All-Star Race, May 17th through the 19th. Champions like Larson, Elliott, Busch, and Blaney battle it out for All-Star glory at the track where names like Petty, Earnhardt, Waltrip, and Allison became legendary. Experience live music, racing history, and the kind of fun you can only have at North Wilkesboro. The NASCAR All-Star Race. Get your tickets today at NorthWilkesboroSpeedway.com.
And welcome back to Circuit of the Americas as we're headed to the 3rd and final stage of this NASCAR Xfinity race today, brought to you by Focused Health. It's the Focused Health 250. Of course, we'll be back here tomorrow for NASCAR Cup Series action in the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix. Is your insurance playbook too confusing? Make it easy. Switch to Geico and get all your insurance coverage from one place. Go to geico.com to get started and do that today. As we've watched this race unfold, only 2 yellow flags to this point. And Mark, both of those were in the script when we started the day.
Absolutely, Doug. At the end of the stages, looking at points earned in the first two stages, Riley Herbst has scored the most points today with 16, AJ Allmendinger 11, Parker Kligerman with 10, Sammy Smith, Cole Custer, Alex LeBay all have scored 9, Sage Karam 8, Parker Retzlaff 7, Josh Bilicki 5, and Austin Hill with 5. As we go down now to O'Reilly Auto Parts pit reporter Brett McMillan.
Okay, guys, here's a weird double whammy for Jesse Love. Remember, he came in and pitted, and then because he sped leaving the pits, he had to serve a pass-through penalty. Well, it turns out he served the pass-through penalty when pits were closed. So, NASCAR's penalizing him again. And when they restart this race, he's going to have to start at the end of the longest line.
Ouch.
It could be worse. They could double penalty him, start him at the tail end of the longest line, and then give him a drive-through. So
they could do that, or they could let him start in downtown Austin and let him try to catch up the rest of the field.
All right, so we'll see how all of that shapes out. We've seen cars pull up through the field today. Kyle Larson made a good run. He had to start at the back. He got up there when was battling for the lead. Ty Gibbs was the same today. If you have a good enough car and you have some talent behind the wheel, you can do it. And Mark, the folks that have led this race today under the green have been really putting on a clinic today. I feel like AJ Allmendinger's been out there. Shane Van Gisbergen's had a chance. Parker Kligerman for a while, but we've seen some really good wheelmen drive to the front today.
I have loved Shane Van Gisbergen. He has taken to NASCAR, man. You got to use the nose, got to use the fenders. He used up Kyle Larson. I mean, he banged him in the side, almost turned him sideways. That didn't work. Went down to the next corner, popped him in the back bumper. So that's been a lot of fun to watch. Shane Van Gisbergen really getting with it NASCAR style of racing.
By the fact that Brandon Jones shortcut the course on the last lap of stage 2.
No.
He will not be given that win for winning that stage.
Riley Herbst will get it.
So Riley Herbst will pick up that point.
Wow.
So,
boy, NASCAR is serious about these track limits.
Yeah, they've been enforcing it a lot today, and I can't help but think it was a big part of the truck race today, won by Corey Heim. I think it'll also be a big part of tomorrow's NASCAR Cup Series race.
I think a lot of the Cup drivers, Doug, watching this race, they know the sheriff is out there with the speed gun and keeping his eye on this stuff. They're going to be putting out some tickets tomorrow. It already had a huge impact in this race today because the guy that just won the stage has that taken away from him. We've seen it throughout the day with crews getting pulled away. You know, one of the funny parts, Doug, you're following a guy, you're right on his bumper, he cuts the track limits across, and you're following, and you can get zapped that way too. Mark, apparently, we're going to correct that, and they're going to let him keep that because of where it happened on the racetrack. So, a reprieve, as you like to say. The governor has called at the last minute. Brandon Jones will be awarded with that stage victory, so good for him, and taking all of Riley Herbst's glory away there. So Brandon Jones, they elected to stay out. We saw a good battle back behind them amongst the fastest cars of the day, and that's AJ Allmendinger, I think Shane Van Gisbergen, Kyle Larson, and if you can get back up there in the mix, Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs has had a couple of penalties today that have relegated him to the back. Super quick, man. You cannot keep Ty Gibbs down. He keeps battling in that. He gets us Toyota back to the front after the issues that he's had. Certainly fast enough, Doug, to get up there, but clearly Allmendinger, Larson, Van Gisbergen, and Gibbs, they've got the most muscle. And again, Allmendinger is the heavyweight champ at COTA. If you're going to win the championship, got to knock him out. Runner-up, 2 wins in the 3 Xfinity Series races at this racetrack. He is set on going back to back to back. Alan Cavan, I know you've been watching that treacherous, as you've called it a couple of times, dirty turn 8, and how did it hold up here in stage 2?
Oh, it got just as dirty as it did in stage 1, which has me thinking about this final stage, which is the longest one of the race, and will have the longest time in between getting clean. Now, during each of these breaks, NASCAR has sent out about 5 trucks. 2 of them are sweepers, and then 3 jet dryers to blow this one corner clean. And it worked. After stage 1, it was completely clean, like it was brand new, but by the end of stage 2, it was all dirtied again. I'm watching the last jet dryer right now blow the remnants of the dirt off there right now. But again, as that race goes on, as the stage goes on, the lap after lap, car after car, that becomes a slick patch for these cars. It's where A.J. Allmendinger, the one time we saw him slip up today, at least here in my section, was when he had one tire on that dirt section. So it's going to become a factor as this race gets toward the finish.
All right, we've got some of the cars that elected to stay out the last time, getting ready to head onto pit road, and they'll be led by Brandon Jones. Let's go down now and start off with Heather DeVoe.
And on my end of pit road, Ryan Ellison, also Ryan Sieg in for their stops to get 4 tires and adjustments, and Sunoco Fuel, Wendy Venturini.
And Brandon Jones, who won stage 2 apparently twice just now, has been a little bit loose. They are going to tighten him up. Rear grip was a concern. 4 tires and fuel for our stage 2 winner, Brett McMillan.
Cole Custer is in. He's getting a 4-tire change, going to loosen up so he can turn better. He's also getting a chassis adjustment. They dropped the car 14.3 seconds. Also with Jesse Love, since he has to start at the rear of the field, they're going to go ahead and give him brand new tires and also a chassis adjustment.
So it looks like Custer will lead them off the pit lane, followed by Gibbs, then Brandon Jones. That is the first 3, or rather Riley Herbst. Gibbs and his car look very similar there. So those are the first 3 off the pit lane. We'll reset the field when we return to the Circuit of the Americas.
Are you or someone you love struggling with an addiction to drugs or alcohol and want to be set free from the chains of addiction? Then call Addiction Helpline America right now to get the help you need. From drug and alcohol addiction to dual diagnosis treatment, we provide a confidential helpline to help people like you get sober and live happy, substance-free lives.
Treatment helped me get my life back. I was so addicted, the only person I could focus on was myself and what I needed. I hit rock bottom and lost everything. Through treatment, I was able to overcome those demons and focus on my family again.
I used until I overdosed and almost died. That was the end of the road for me. After seeking treatment, I now have hope. I learned skills that help me deal with life on life's terms.
800-646-4407. 800-646-4407. 800-646-4407. That's 800-646-4407.
From Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas, this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
We saw a lot of chaos in the closing laps of the race. So just trying to minimize that, make it more about a race than people just using each other up.
I think it's needed. It was needed at all the road courses. While I don't think it's going to be a home run, I think that it'll be in the right direction.
So many opportunities to either be really good or make mistakes, and they can start adding up on you quick.
For the latest NASCAR news without a restrictor plate, it's PRN's Garage Pass. For the station near you, check us out at goprn.com.
Hi, this is PRN's David Stiles. Join me each week when I head over to JC's Garage to talk NASCAR.
As of right now, if I were to name my top 5, I could tell you Chase Elliott wouldn't be in that top 5 with this next-gen car. He has a lot to prove on the road courses with this next-gen car. But I still don't think there's a real out-front leader. I think Tyler Reddick has been outstanding.
That's JC's Garage, wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Looks like this caution period will be extended for just a little bit here at Circuit of the Americas as NASCAR is applying some of the stay dry out on the race course, and you'll have to put that down, and then you've got to go around and clean that back up. So that's going to probably extend this caution for at least one more lap.
Doug, it's right in the groove. I mean, literally right where these cars are going to want to run, so they're going to be very careful about packing that up. Want to remind everybody, tomorrow, 2:30 Eastern Time, is the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix from Circuit of the Americas. William Byron will lead them to the green flag, second straight year. He's won the pole and set a track qualifying record here at COTA. Ty Gibbs, Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, Corey LaJoy are going to be your top 5 starters. Want to remind you that coming up on Saturday, April 13th, we're at Texas Motor Speedway for Cup Series practice and qualifying at 10:30 Eastern Time. Also later on that day, the Andes Frozen Custard 300 at 1 o'clock Eastern. Then on Sunday, the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400, that at 2:30 Eastern Time from Texas Motor Speedway.
Let's check in now with Brett McMillan.
John Hunter Nemechek spent a bunch of extra time here at the pits during this caution period as they were fixing an oil leak on that car. He just left, and they did get it fixed, but there was a whole bunch of oil here laying in the pits that they are now wiping up. So that may be why they're dumping some of the kitty litter out there.
I think that's probably a pretty good assessment there, Brett McMillan. Mark, most of the time the drivers' meeting before the Cup meeting is kind of just ceremonial. They introduce some dignitaries and they go through some rules with a video, and that's pretty much it. I have a feeling tomorrow's drivers' meeting may be a little bit more intense. I've just got the notion that there'll be a lot of discussion about how they're going to enforce the rules about shortcutting this racetrack out here. Will they do it like today? Will there be more leeway? You've got to think that every team and driver and car owner and crew chief is thinking, what can we do and what can we get away with?
Doug, certainly they pushed the limit, and we've seen NASCAR today draw a firm line in the sand, and I think that's trying to give notice to those guys tomorrow. Like, watch out, because we are going to be on the prowl to take people down if you go over the track limits, cut through the grass, cut through the dirt.
All right, this race is dwindling away here as we've only got 13 laps left to go. We'll take a break and come back.
The NASCAR season is here, and Toyota Racing is looking for clashers. Did you clash at the Coliseum with your favorite Toyota drivers? Clashing with the HOA, who won't let you carve bell number 20 into your lawn? Or maybe your Tyler Reddick shirt clashed with your pants while meeting the in-laws? If you're a clasher, then we want you. Be part of the action at toyota.com/racing. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
With Progressive Snapshot, you could save on auto insurance rates by driving safely, which is great because you're rarely rewarded for just being you. Ever get rewarded for being left-handed? No. You get to use weird scissors. Your reward for being a Capricorn? Cold birthdays that conflict with the holidays. And your reward for quickly responding to every work email? More emails. But with Snapshot, even left-handed Capricorns with proper email etiquette could get rewarded for good driving. So download the Progressive app today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Snapshot not available in all states or from all agents.
Back here at Circuit of the Americas, we want to remind you, if you want some great NASCAR content, check out the PRN YouTube channel. Go PRN Live. A lot of great featured content on there from folks like Brad Gilley, myself, Alexis Erickson, Jeff Hammond, and Kyle Petty regularly show up. At Go PRN Live, like us and subscribe to us today on YouTube. From Austin, Texas, at Circuit of the Americas, this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Reddick goes right to the bottom of the racetrack. Chastain tries to hold on the outside.
Truex on the inside, Byron in the middle, Chastain up high.
Hamlin now beginning to come to the front. He's got the edge now. He'll take the lead away.
Brian Blaney sliding down into the grass. There was a lot of bumping and grinding, and Blaney noses into the infield retaining wall.
Ross Chastain doing a great job. Truex right there, big in his mirror as they race down the backstretch here.
Harrison Burton is spinning down the back straightaway. Everybody going to the top side.
Here comes Kyle Larson. Larson dives to the bottom of the racetrack. He wants to lead all four.
Chris Buescher has trouble and a spin off of turn 4.
Yeah, we've got a ton of cars that are in this one, and Larson is certainly one of those cars.
Trouble coming out of turn 4. Hamlin is sideways. The car spins down on the apron of the racetrack.
Byron takes that brightly painted number 24 to the front. He gets a big shot from Daniel Suarez.
This is PRN.
We're about to go back to green with 12 laps to go in the Focused Health 250 for the Xfinity Series. A.J. Allmendinger is now your leader again. Kyle Larson second, Shane Van Gisbergen third, fourth Ty Gibbs, Chandler Smith fifth, sixth is Austin Hill, Sammy Smith is seventh, eighth Parker Kligerman, Justin Allgaier is ninth, Sage Karam in 10th.
Sam Mayer is riding 11th, 12th to Parker Retzlaff. Anthony Alfredo is 13th, 14th to Kyle Weatherman. Austin Green is 15th, 16th is going to be Brennan Poole, Blaine Perkins 17th, 18th to Haley Deegan, 19th is Cole Custer, 20th will be Riley Herbst.
Brandon Jones 21st, 22nd Ryan Sieg, Alex LeBay 23rd, Josh Bilicki 24th, Brad Perez 25th, Ryan Ellis 26th, R.C. Enerson is 27th, 28th is Jesse Love, then you have Jeremy Clements 29th, Patrick Gallagher in 30th.
Danny Kvyat is going to be 31st. Leland Honeyman 32nd. 33rd, John Hunter Nemechek. Ty Dillon is 34th. He just went to the garage area. And next in line is going to be Jones. Then it's Jeff Burton, followed by Sheldon Creed. Josh Williams is the only car officially being listed out of this race.
All right, so they are lining up. So it looks like it'll be Allmendinger and Shane Gisbergen in row number 1, Larson to the inside of row number 2. Doug, these 3 cars have been duking it out, and right there is Ty Gibbs. First time today, he's really had a chance to start up front with nothing weird happening to him with several penalties for getting off the racetrack and starting in the back because of an unapproved change. So those 4 cars, they proved to be the fastest. Now they'll go at it.
A car that I'm surprised we've not seen more toward the front today has got to be Cole Custer, Mark. I really thought he might be a player here. He's usually a pretty good road course racer, but he's not been a factor in this event.
He's been hanging around the top 10, in and out of it right now. Again, scored in the 19th position. Again, we're getting set to go green. 12 to go here in the Focused Health 250.
Pretty much a trophy dash here as they start the third and final segment. Green flag is in the air. Side by side, Shane Van Gisbergen to the outside, to his inside. A.J. Allmendinger as they crest the hill.
The gloves are off. It's going to be a bare knuckles fight into turn number 1. It belongs to Allmendinger. He'll hug the bottom of the racetrack. That opens the inside lane. It'll become the outside as they go downhill into turn number 2. Kyle Larson there to fight him for second.
No surprise that Allmendinger scoots away with the lead, but it's too wide. The 97 of Van Gisbergen, the 17 of Larson, as Larson shakes away and gets totally into that second spot. They also are too wide and trying to get single file behind him through the S's as A.J. Allmendinger escapes the S's with the lead.
The best of the best are at the front of the field right now as A.J. Allmendinger makes a left at turn 7, up the hill toward turn 8, hitting this now clear apart, locks up the front wheel just a little bit, but gets through just fine. Kyle Larson,
Power through that blind left-hander of turn number 10. Kyle Larson using up every inch of the racetrack. He went off and drove right back on in front of Shane Van Gisbergen. He's right up underneath the black bumper of Larson's number 17 Hendrick Chevrolet. In fact, Van Gisbergen's going to try to take that spot. He moves to the inside, pulls door to door. They're going to drag race about 6 car lengths behind Allmendinger. Good battle for second, headed to you, Pat, 12.
Van Gisbergen to the inside. Larson out to the outside here. Driver's left. And then Gisbergen's going to work to the inside of 12. He's going to take that spot away. Larson's got to be careful because Ty Gibbs is all over him. Up front, A.J. Allmendinger rounds turn 13. Gisbergen about 2 car lengths behind. Then it's Larson. Then it's Ty Gibbs. Then Austin Hill right in this mix as well. Once again, here's Allmendinger about a 4-car lead as he heads to the bridge.
Big long 180-degree right-hander as they go around the observation tower. A.J. Allmendinger comfortably leading the way. Shane Van Gisbergen behind him. The big pressure right now is for third. Right now, Kyle Larson has it. Ty Gibbs wants it. Gibbs starts to set up to his outside as they head to the left-hander of turn number 19. He'll get right on his back bumper. Not going to let it go away. But now here comes maybe a battle for fourth with Austin Hill on the final corner.
Ryan Sieg has spun. Leaders coming by. Allmendinger, then Van Gisbergen. Great battle for third. Larson, Gibbs, Austin Hill behind them, 3 wide. Parker Klickerman trying to lead that pack up to turn 1.
The Colleague Chevrolets easily outdistancing their competitors in turn number 1. The fight is for third. A wrap on the back bumper of Kyle Larson in the form of Ty Gibbs. Now Austin Hill goes to the outside of Gibbs as they head toward the pedestrian bridge.
Gibbs closes the door down the hill into the S's where they've got to get single file and stay on the track. There's also been a big-time battle in that 6th position. Sammy Smith got 3 of Parker Klickerman and Chandler Smith as out front. It's still Allmendinger.
Clear sailing for Allmendinger. Van Gisbergen as they start to climb the hill. Kyle Larson. Ty Gibbs not far behind now. It's Austin Hill trying to make some noise at the end of this race and get as close as we've seen him to Ty Gibbs in this race. Sammy Smith holding up the line just behind him.
That's a good point, Alan. We haven't talked a lot about Austin Hill, the winner at Daytona and Atlanta, one of the best super speedway racers in this sport, but showing that he's got a knack for road racing, running in the top 5. He's watching a great battle for third take place about 2 car lengths ahead of him. It's between Ty Gibbs and Kyle Larson. Gibbs gave Larson a shot to the shorts at the exit of turn number 11. Now they'll do a little drafting as they battle inside the top 5 into turn 12.
Here comes the battle for the lead. Once again, A.J. Allmendinger has it. Van Gisbergen would like to take it away into 12, tightly together. They race now uphill into turn number 13. A.J. to the outside now, brings that car back to the right hard. Van Gisbergen is right there, slides a little bit into the corner, stays on his bumper. 2-car length separation, down to 1-car length. A.J. Allmendinger with a mirror full of Shane Van Gisbergen.
Here come the leaders, teammates at Colin Racing and both road race veterans. A.J. Allmendinger has it. Shane Van Gisbergen right on his back bumper now. Allmendinger able to pull away. Van Gisbergen gets a little bit loose in turn number 17. Now they head down to turn 19. That allows A.J. Allmendinger to once again pull away from the lead. Van Gisbergen not giving it up as they climb the hill toward turn number 20.
Sammy Smith spun out on the race course. A lot of smoke trailing from that race
He's got
car.
problems, Doug. He's trying to work his way over here. It looks like he may have broken something in that rear suspension of that car, so he heads towards the pit road at this point.
Car stopped smoking. The leaders are back up in turn 1. It's still Allmendinger being chased by Shane Van Gisbergen.
In stage 1, Allmendinger was the pursuer. Van Gisbergen the pursued. Now that role reversal has taken place. 4-car lengths separate those two teammates.
And they've got about a 7-car length lead on third place. Kyle Larson, who fellow truck driver Ty Gibbs sits there in fourth as they're trying to figure out their last ways to plot their ways toward the front. Allmendinger by a car length lead exiting turn number 6 over second place SVG.
The right turn of turn 6 into the slower left turn for A.J. Allmendinger up the hill toward turn the slow turn 8 where they cut it so close it kicks all that dirt up. Drivers getting more courageous throughout the day, but still a big gap between A.J. Allmendinger, Shane Van Gisbergen, and then a far gap back to Larson.
Yeah, back down the hill. The gap back to third place running Kyle Larson is a healthy 12 car lengths for Shane Van Gisbergen, who has a target put right on the back of his teammate Chevrolet of A.J. Allmendinger, leaving turn 11. They're separated by just a couple car lengths. Got a monster tire rub on the left front of Chandler Smith's Toyota. He had a really good day early on, but he's got a ton of damage, limping that car out of turn 11. In fact, Pat, some of the racing towards the rear of the field, the elbows have gotten wide. We got a lot of banged up race cars here nearing the finish of this race.
Speaking of banging, we're going to do that right now between Kyle Larson and Ty Gibbs. Man, they got after it going into 12. Battle up front, tightens up between the leader, A.J. Allmendinger, and SVG. SVG almost got a spot there as he walked into 15. Great battle, though, for second or for third, fourth, and fifth. Once again, Brad, here comes Van Gisbergen working to the inside Allmendinger.
Here we go. Last time Van Gisbergen got loose around this section of racetrack, all the way around this long right-hand 3-section part of the racetrack, 16, 17, 18. Less than a half a car length separate the leaders. Now they go down the hill. A.J. Allmendinger is going to have to get hard on the brakes going into the left-hander of turn 19. Van Gisbergen now drives right to his back bumper. He'll look to his inside on turn number 20.
Fierce battle for the lead here, coming up with just 9 laps to go. It's A.J. Allmendinger leading Shane Van Gisbergen. Allmendinger will hold the lead as they head down the front stretch and up toward turn 1.
Van Gisbergen, the last few laps, has had an opportunity to be the pupil and learn from the master, A.J. Allmendinger, who's almost unbeatable here at Coda. It is now Van Gisbergen who's the one that's really putting the heat on the aforementioned A.J. Allmendinger.
They exit turn number 2. Allmendinger with a car length lead there, pulling away for the third place battle as Gibbs has got around Larson. Allmendinger into turn 4, up and down the hill, down the second gear. Van Gisbergen trails behind, gets a little bit better through those edges and catches up to Malacavana as they come to turn 7.
And it's a slower section, but it is a busy section with a lot going on here. They're climbing the hill. A.J. Allmendinger taking a different approach into turn 8 right now. It allows Shane Van Gisbergen to close in and get just on the outside and turn back down the hill closer than ever. Van Gisbergen on the bumper.
Boy, he is on the bumper, exiting turn number 10. Both of those white cars look like one as they nose towards me in turn 11, and Van Gisbergen's going to take a look. They'll go door to door in turn 11. Shane Van Gisbergen going to make his car as wide as possible. He'll make A.J. Allmendinger crack the throttle and kick up a little dirt, and Shane Van Gisbergen has the lead. But can he hold it down the back straightaway? Allmendinger in pursuit, doing a little drafting pad into turn 12.
It's a battle at Coda, but it may also be a battle for who is king of the road right now. Van Gisbergen has got that spot. A.J. Allmendinger watching his bumper as they work to 13. Here comes A.J. Dives to the inside. He'll get a fender alongside Van Gisbergen. Once again, Van Gisbergen works better To the outside, retains that lead spot, down into 15, AJ to the outside, Van Gisbergen slides up just a little bit, a great battle here towards the bridge, Brad.
They're going to have to dance around these next three corners, the right-handers of 16, 17, and 18. AJ Allmendinger still on the back bumper of Shane Van Gisbergen. Allmendinger slides the nose a little bit, he'll lose ground to his teammate Van Gisbergen, and then down the hill into turn number 19. Here goes SVG, a little bit loose in turn number 19, still able to keep the car underneath them as they head to the left-hander of turn 20.
Now let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Matt Collick has to be the most nervous guy on the property right now. He's got to be thrilled as two guys are out front, but Dougie's also got to be concerned that they do not take each other out.
For sure, and right now, SVG has elbowed AJ Allmendinger out of the lead. It's two car links to go down to turn 4, then the left-hander in turn 5, and a hard right in turn number 6. Shane Van Gisbergen to the lead as he did that in the last lap.
For the first time in a long time, SVG is the one leading the way up the hill. We'll see what this slow turn into the dirty turn 8 does for SVG. He's able to pull away just a slight bit from AJ Allmendinger as they go back down the hill on the paved new patch of this track.
Yep, one lap ago, it was down here in turn 11 where Shane Van Gisbergen set up AJ Allmendinger and outbroke him down in the hard left-hander. AJ Allmendinger trying to replicate that move. He'll get to within about a half a car length. Those two chase out of turn number 11 with about an 8-car length advantage over third place running Ty Gibbs in his all-black Toyota. But up front, it's the Colleague Chevrolets. Allmendinger giving chase to Van Gisbergen.
Yeah, it is at this time AJ's job to chase the rabbit, and the rabbit is Shane Van Gisbergen right now with about a 3-car length lead as he works his way into 12. AJ's car not getting the grip that he wants off the corner, exiting the corner, and that's giving Van Gisbergen a much better launch into these turns. Right now works his way through 14, down to 15. AJ 4-car lengths back, another 8 to 9-car lengths back to Ty Gibbs as they race to the bridge.
Won't be too long before the leaders run into some lap traffic. That would be Jim Burton, who is about 15, 20 car lengths ahead of Shane Van Gisbergen. But I'll tell you what, the two leaders also not pulling away. Ty Gibbs running in third. He's going to become a part of this picture. Kyle Larson running in fourth. You've got Austin Hill running in fifth. Van Gisbergen now pulling away a little bit from AJ Allmendinger as they make the left-hander onto the front stretch.
7 laps to go, 3 cars within a second of each other. Shane Van Gisbergen, AJ Allmendinger, and Ty Gibbs has fought up to be running a close third.
Fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR. From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
This is NASCAR racer Michael Waltrip with Echo Park, the official used car of Speedway Motorsports. I'm inviting you to Echo Park's Coffee Cup Series. This NASCAR season, me and Echo Park will be arriving to the tracks early to meet fans over a cup of coffee and check out some of their cars. Plus, you can win a VIP ticket upgrade and ride in the pace car. Talk about a whole new meeting of pre-race jitters. Echo Park, every car, happy owner. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. That's what our race broadcast is today. Protect your home and auto save when you bundle. Get a quote at progressive.com. Next time by 6 to go. In the Focused Health 250, Shane Van Gisbergen trying to hold off his colleague racing teammate, AJ Allmendinger. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
It's like a little medicine pill.
The United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and the largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. The USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal agencies with free safety equipment donations and officer survival training, along with cash donations to families of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty, college scholarships for the children of law enforcement, a citizen awareness program, and more. For more information on the USDSA and how you can help, visit usdeputy.org.
There's a little bit of the county fair atmosphere at a stock car race.
Don't miss NASCAR's biggest stars when they light up historic North Wilkesboro Speedway. It's the NASCAR All-Star Race, May 17th through the 19th. Champions like Larson, Elliott, Busch, and Blaney battle it out for All-Star supremacy on one of NASCAR's original tracks. Experience live music, racing history, and the kind of fun you can only have at North Wilkesboro. The NASCAR All-Star Race. Get your tickets today at NorthWilkesboroSpeedway.com.
While we were away, Shane Van Gisbergen has pulled out and increased his lead. The last time by the start-finish line, showing just 6 laps to go, Mark. It's almost up to a 2-second advantage. He is in really good shape right now. We do have a stalled car out on the racetrack. That's Patrick Gallagher, but he's fired up and he's going to rejoin the battle. Let's go down to Wendy.
The 16 just a few laps ago when he got passed by Shane Van Gisbergen said that there was no rear grip in the race car. He said, get the tires ready. I flat spotted the tires. We believe it happened around turn 8 as he was battling for that lead right now. AJ Allmendinger just said, what did you do to the car? It is terrible. And they said they took air out of both rear tires. With 6 laps to go, they're just telling AJ to hold his pace and try to hold onto his race car the best he possibly can. Heather DeBow.
And Wendy, there's a similar situation going on with Larson, who's running in the 5th position. He just came over the radio and told his team that he as well flat spotted those tires. So the team is leaving it up to him on whether or not to pit if it's bad enough. So we'll keep an eye on the 5 to see if he has to come in for tires.
Well, the only reason Kyle Larson is here, Mark, is to win the race. There's no points or anything for him. So if he can't win, there's not a big risk reward for Kyle Larson.
Oh, absolutely not. And again, he's had an amazing batting record, if you will. He's run 12 Xfinity races since 2018, won half. It doesn't look like he's going to win for a 7th time over that period, but he's had a good run today.
All right, Mark, we flip-flop back and forth on this, but we have communicated directly with NASCAR, and they have told us that Riley Herbst is now credited with winning stage 2 because the penalty came on the lap coming back to the line, and Brandon Jones will get no points for that. We have now 5 laps to go, and our leader is up in turn 1. That's Shane Van Gisbergen.
Allmendinger came in 7th in points. His young teammate Van Gisbergen 14th. Both stand to make significant gains because the 2 guys behind them no longer are in this series. So out of turn number 2 now, Van Gisbergen continues to extend his lead.
And what Allmendinger in second place by 2.5 seconds is hoping is that SVG uses up his stuff and Allmendinger can overcome these flat spotted tires and the adjustment on the car. But as SVG pulls away at turn 6, Allmendinger's just exiting turn 5.
That's a big hope, Doug, because the more I watch Shane Van Gisbergen go through these technical parts of the track, the smoother he seems to get as this race goes on. Going through that dirty turn 8 right now, a little wiggle, but not too bad at all as it goes back down, seemingly growing the lead on AJ Allmendinger.
Yeah, Alan, and the more I watch AJ Allmendinger, the more you can tell that he is struggling, and thus, I think Shane Van Gisbergen probably knows I don't need to push. I don't need to use up the tires here in the closing laps because Allmendinger certainly doesn't have the pace. Ty Gibbs trying to run Allmendinger down for that 2nd spot. Then it's about 15 car lengths back. Austin Hill, the driver from Georgia, he's gotten around Kyle Larson as Larson continues to struggle. Leader back into turn 12.
Yeah, the leader's back in turn 12. Watching partner Klingerman out there because he is racing for something back there at about the 6th or 7th spot. And Kyle Larson is the next man that he's got to get around him. Here's Van Gisbergen, though, 13, making the hard right-hand corner, lets the car drift out, pulls it back tight for 14, setting up for turn number 15. Long way back to AJ Allmendinger. Ty Gibbs is there, but as I said, Klingerman trying to work his way up to be in a fight with Larson down here at 15.
SVG hoping this race stays green all the way to the end. He arcs it through this 3 right-hand turn section of 16, 17, and 18. Good gap on AJ Allmendinger. Ty Gibbs about the same gap back in the 3rd spot. Then it's Austin Hill and Kyle Larson. As Pat mentioned, though, Parker Klingerman, stage 1 winner, starting to make up a little bit of ground on Kyle Larson. Maybe hoping for a top 5 here today. Leaders coming up the hill to the final turn number 20 before hitting the front stretch.
We'll go commercial-free the rest of the way. Brought to you by Toyota. For the latest Toyota racing information, visit ToyotaRacing.com. Out front right now, and continuing to pull away, Rob Albright, is Shane Van Gisbergen.
Still got some work to do on his oval track racecraft, but he certainly has this car on this type racetrack figured out. Doug Turnbull as he heads to turn 3.
He does, and he goes downhill, and no reason to push the track limits there. He goes right over the rumble strips at turn number 3. And even that battle toward the back of the top 5 that has Carson, Glickman, and Austin Hills kind of settled out as Austin Hills pulled away in the 4th position. Hill going right now through turn 5 and through turn 6 as SVG continues to lead.
A lot of space between these top few cars. It's all about just going mistake-free as Shane Van Gisbergen gets through turn 8 in the dirt. So does AJ Allmendinger, Ty Gibbs. The 21 of Austin Hill locks it up just a little bit with Kyle Larson in pursuit, but nothing major yet here in my section, Nick.
And here comes Shane Van Gisbergen. He keeps the right side Goodyear tires off of the rumble strips. Nice smooth angle into the corner. Puts the power down exiting turn number 11. Everything nice and smooth is the advantage. He's 12 to 15 car lengths over AJ Allmendinger. Allmendinger's refound a little bit of pace as he's able to hold off a pretty nice lead over Ty Gibbs, who runs in 3rd. But Shane Van Gisbergen doing a great job here in the closing laps, Pat. Yep, SVG all the way through turn 12 now, works his way up to 13, will make the right-hander there. AJ Allmendinger maintaining as good a pace as he can to try to keep the leader in sight. Ty Gibbs also about 9 to 10 car lengths back behind AJ Allmendinger. Kligerman trying his best to get up here and get into the fight with Kyle Larson and with Austin Hill, not having much luck at that. Here's the leader once again under the bridge.
Best thing Shane Van Gisbergen can do is stay smooth. He does it through this section of racetrack, 16, 17, and 18. Real easy part of the course to get a little bit loose on that right-hander. He's able to set up turn 19 very well. Cuts the corner to the inside.
Trouble down here in turn 11, guys. Ed Jones, the former IndyCar driver, got punted down here in turn 11. He looped it around, waited for the entire field to go by, and it looks like though he's killed the engine and is not able to get that car refired for Sam Hunt Racing. It's going to bring out a yellow here at Circuit of the Americas.
Just the 3rd yellow flag in the Focused Health 250. When they go by the line, there's going to be only 3 to go as the leader has passed by. So, Doug, it looks like we're going overtime.
Well, they've got to come around. Yes, we'll get a little bit of extra racing. Last thing that Shane Van Gisbergen wanted to see was a yellow. It's the only one for cause today, and it's for Ed Jones getting turned around out on the course.
Had a picture of Shane Van Gisbergen's wife on top of the pit box. She didn't show any emotion, but she got down. You could tell, like, are you kidding me, was kind of the body language. Tough break right now for Shane Van Gisbergen. Again, he has shown the most muscle, Doug. He had been the fastest car, according to electronic timing from NASCAR. Allmendinger second. Even in those closing laps, they were still the 2 fastest cars, but Van Gisbergen clearly had Allmendinger covered. Now, brand new ball game.
Yep, we'll have to re-rack him and go to NASCAR overtime here for the only yellow flag of the day. As he said, part-time IndyCar driver Ed Jones made a start last year, I think, at the Indianapolis 500, and from the United Arab Emirates. So we've got a driver today in the field from Russia. We have got a New Zealander who is leading the race, and a citizen of the United Arab Emirates, and Brad Perez has a strong background. His parents are from Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, and he's a first-generation American.
Have you forgotten our Canadian, Alex LeBay?
I did. So, yeah, big international flavor here today.
Okay.
Please, have respect for our neighbors to the north, Mark. Please don't do that. You're gonna start an international incident here if you're not careful. All right, so we've had some really good racing. I feel like this has been an entertaining race. I know I have a feeling there will be a lot of discussion about running out of bounds and shortcutting this race. I just have a feeling that's going to be a huge discussion point with the car owners, the crew chiefs, and the drivers before we get down to business tomorrow.
Doug, on a course like this, it is so inviting to try to cut it. In F1 racing, they have the same issues, overdoing the track limits. It's something they get caught on all the time, especially at a track like this one, Circuit of the Americas. And I think, again, this is an eye-opening moment for the drivers tomorrow. They see how serious NASCAR is about this, and usually sometimes they get scared straight when they see some of this kind of thing, and we'll have to see how it works out tomorrow.
Well, while we've got a pause in the action here for the first caution for cause today, let's take you through a full field rundown after we check in on pit road with Brett McMillan.
Well, first of all, guys, when they saw the 24 car spin on the big monitor down here in the pit of Shane Van Gisbergen, the crew started yelling, "Go! Go! Go!" So you can imagine they didn't want to see the caution either. But his crew chief, Bruce Schrucker, came on the radio and said, "Look, we're in good shape. We got plenty of fuel. We're good until the third green-white checker. So just do what you do. We're in good shape."
NASCAR out there putting the stage right down on the racetrack where Ed Jones dropped some fluid onto the speedway, so that's going to take a little bit of time to clean it up because you got to drop it down, and then you take the Ocean Sweeper truck out there and vacuum it up. Let's give you the rundown here with 5 laps to go as we're under the yellow flag here at the tail end of this race. It'll be Shane Van Gisbergen, the leader. A.J. Allmendinger is second. Then third is Ty Gibbs. Austin Hill is fourth. Kyle Larson fifth. Parker Kligerman sixth. Sam Mayer has fought his way back up to seventh. Justin Allgaier is eighth. Ninth to Cole Custer, and Sage Karam is 10th.
Jesse Love 11th, 12th Parker Retzlaff, Riley Herbst is 13th. John Hunter Nemechek 14th, 15th is going to be Austin Green. A great job by that young driver today. Alex LeVay 16th, 17th Kyle Weatherman, Leland Honeyman Jr. 18th, 19th Josh Balicki, Brandon Jones in 20th.
Brennan Poole will be 21st. 22nd is going to be Danny Kivet, and 23rd is Brad Perez. Jeremy Clements rides 24th. 25th to Anthony Alfredo. Blaine Perkins is 26th. Ryan Ellis 27th. R.C. Enerson will be 28th. 29th is Ryan Sieg. Haley Deegan is 30th.
31st is Patrick Gallagher, Chandler Smith in 32nd, 33rd Ed Jones, Jeff Burton 34th, 35th Sheldon Creed. Sammy Smith is out. He'll get credit today for 36th. Also out these next 2 drivers. Ty Dillon will wind up 37th, Josh Williams in 38th.
This race was originally scheduled to go 46 laps. NASCAR is now showing we will go to lap 48.
Kyle Larson coming onto the pit lane to get some fresh tires. Let's go to Heather DeBow.
And as I mentioned before, he did have some flat spots, so he wanted to come in and address that issue, but he just told his team, I can't compete with the guys in front of me, I can't compete with the guys behind me, so we need to pit and set me up with some adjustments. Hopefully, as he leaves pit road right now.
I think also Ty Gibbs made a dash down pit road, should be in front of Brett McMillan.
Whoopsie.
And Riley Herbst has come in. He's going to go ahead and get a
The foam
tire
drum.
change and a track bar adjustment. They're taking care of that right now. And down to the left side, everything going well with the stop so far as they're finishing up. Drop the car and he heads back out.
Riley Herbst there, my mistake. Ty Gibbs and Riley Herbst's paint schemes almost look identical sometimes, so my bad on that. But Shane Van Gisbergen, Mark, he's going to have to fight if he wants to get his first Xfinity win in just his 5th start. He was one of the favorites we were talking about today as a possibility of a driver that could win both the Xfinity race and the Cup race, but he's going to have to battle 2 of the other drivers that we talked about that could do that also.
And we look pretty good after making that amazing in the free range. After 40 years, we might know what we're talking about.
Well, A.J. Allmendinger rides second, Ty Gibbs is third. Either one of those guys could win this race, and I think either one of them could back it up tomorrow, too.
Absolutely. For Shane Van Gisbergen, Doug, I think it's about turn 1. Allmendinger and Gibbs cannot lose contact with him. They've got to get on him in a hurry. And again, we've seen these guys kind of rough each other up already today. Could happen again as we go back down to O'Reilly Auto Parts pit reporter Brett McMillan.
Mark, interesting you would say it's all about turn 1 because Shane Van Gisbergen and one of his spotters, they have a couple up here at the racetrack. They've had a long discussion about whether he should take the left side or the right side on the restart. The left side becomes the inside when they get to the top of turn 1. The spotter feels like if he stayed on the left side, that he can block the left side, nobody can undercut him. Van Gisbergen says, well, if I go to the right side, then I get a better boost coming off the hill when I come down the hill. So there's a real debate going on back and forth between the 2 of them, whether he should take the left side and cut people off or take the right side, get a boost coming off the hill. But the concern then is that people get inside of him, then they can pull out, drift out to the outside and cut him off there, and then put him on the wrong side going down into turns 2, 3, and 4. So it's going to be interesting to see what the decision is made. I mean, this Van Gisbergen, as the spotter says, hey, you're the road course guy. You do it better than I do, so just go with what makes you comfortable.
Okay, this is NASCAR. I'm going on the left side because 8 tires trying to make a left-hand turn up there in turn 1 going to be better than 4.
Be curious to see how this plays out. It looks like the lights are off on that Toyota GR Super Pace car. We should be going back to work here shortly at Circuit of the Americas, as Mark told you a moment ago. Join us tomorrow when we're back here for the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix, 2:30 Eastern Time for the Cup Stars.
Van Gisbergen has chosen the left-hand lane, the inside line, which will give him the inside line in turn 1. Ty Gibbs goes to his outside. Row 2, inside Allmendinger, outside Kligerman, and then inside of row number 3, it's going to be Austin Hill.
So the field is coming around. The next time they'll come back, they will take the green flag, and it will be 2 laps to go. A green, white, checkered finish seems appropriate here today at Circuit of the Americas. It's been a really entertaining race. I know there's going to be a lot of discussion about all the penalties handed out, but Brad Gilley, I don't think you can argue with the action that we've seen here today.
No, I would agree. There's been some great racing because we've had a lot of drivers keeping each other honest, especially the teammates with Shane Van Gisbergen and with A.J. Allmendinger, just how hard they've been racing here today. And it's going to be even more interesting to watch on this restart. As Mark had mentioned, Van Gisbergen's going to be lined up on the inside when they hit the start-finish line and the Geico restart zone. Ty Gibbs on his outside, but with A.J. Allmendinger right behind Van Gisbergen, who gets the better launch? Who gets to go quicker? That's going to be fun to see. And Pat Patterson, I know as they're lined up behind that GR Super Pace car, what's the personality look like up front?
Well, I got to tell you, don't sleep on where Parker Kligerman is in this lineup in that second row with A.J. Allmendinger, and don't think for a minute that Ty Gibbs wants to do anything more than get real physical here on this restart. So I got to tell you, Brad, anything can happen when they get to the top of that hill in a minute.
2 questions about to be answered here. Number 1, obviously, who wins the Focus Health 250? The other, is this going to be the final restart of the race? The Toyota GR Super Pace car has the field in tow. Up front on the inside, it'll be Shane Van Gisbergen. To his outside, a very hungry Ty Gibbs. Remember, Ty Gibbs started this race at the back. He has worked his way all the way toward the front, and he wants this pretty bad, but so does SVG. The GR Super Pace car is going to pull off of the racetrack onto pit road. Guys, we're about to hit the Geico restart zone.
And that restart zone is at the exit of turn 20, which is a 90-degree left-hander, and the field is ready to get back at it. Green, white, checkered here today at COTA. Shane Van Gisbergen to the inside. To his outside, sweeps Ty Gibbs.
Steering, braking, shifting, all come into play. 3 wide, coming up the hill for the race lead. Van Gisbergen to the left. Now 4 wide as Austin Hill gets involved. Ty Gibbs is there. So is A.J. Allmendinger. They sweep to the outside. Who leads into turn number 2? It remains to be seen.
They shuffle to get single file. And Shane Van Gisbergen takes the lead for now, but hot in pursuit. Austin Hill as they enter turn number 3. Hill right behind Van Gisbergen. Sam Mayer's gone to third as Parker Kligerman cuts the course. It gets pushed out of line in that 4th spot. Van Gisbergen continues to lead this hungry pack of cars.
Shane Van Gisbergen making the left turn, going up toward the hill to the freshly clean turn 8. This has been a tough spot for some drivers. Make a mistake here, but Shane Van Gisbergen gets through fine. It's Austin Hill and Sam Mayer in third, trying to get to second place.
Shane Van Gisbergen survived the restart, but can now he hold off a couple drivers hungry for a race win that we haven't talked a lot about today. The battle is for second as Sam Mayer is all over the back of Austin Hill. He'll give him a shot right in the bumper. In fact, it's going to throw off the momentum for Sam Mayer. That's going to open the door for Parker Kligerman. Mayer's going to move him all the way to driver's left as they stack up and crash at the rear of the field. It's a multiple car accident. Looks like big hits for the 98 machine of Riley Herbst. But Pat, what's it look like down at 12?
Well, here comes Van Gisbergen, but he has got a mirror full of that number 21 car of Austin Hill. How hard will Hill chase up the hill into 3 now? Caution flag is on the racetrack, so everything's going to slow down. We're going to reset it all again.
And that fluid is being put down by Riley Herbst, the heavily damaged number 98 machine out on the race course. Also involved out there was Ryan Ellis and a couple of other cars. As Nick Yeoman said, a lot of cars involved in this, and that's going to bring out the yellow again. Leland Honeyman Jr. also with a lot of damage on his number 42 machine.
Riley Herbst's car is mangled. That car is absolutely destroyed. The front end of it buckled. The hood has gone up high enough to block the windshield. And Shane Van Gisbergen can use 8 tires to get around around turn one. He used 12. He just took Allmendinger and Gibbs and swept them out towards Austin city limits, if you will.
He shoved him into the cheap seats, but it was a good move. I mean, it was the only play he really had by starting inside, as we have watched the replay of this crash a couple of times involving Danny Kibbett and also the 42 machine of Leland Honeyman Jr.
Stop it, because I want to do this.
That car is absolutely destroyed. The front end of it buckled, the hood has gone high enough to block the windshield. And Shane Van Gisbergen, he didn't use 8 tires to get around turn one. He used 12. He just took Allmendinger and Gibbs and swept them
that's what happened.
towards Austin city limits. Well, he shoved him into the cheap seats. But it was a good move. I mean, it was the only play he really had by starting inside, as we have watched the replay of this crash a couple of times involving Danny Kibbett and also the 42 machine of
Oh my.
Junior Ryan Ellis
That's
was
what
brought up into that along with Riley Herbst. Man, Riley Herbst got hit very hard by Ryan Ellis. He was spinning and getting hit in the back end. He's crossing the racetrack. Ellis nowhere to go. Just nailed him as the Herbst car came around facing the wrong way. Got hit pretty much head on. And that's going to be a long caution, because Riley Herbst got back out on the racetrack and he dumped a lot of fluid out of that race car. So this is going to be a lengthy cleanup, and we're going to have another restart here. I'm curious if NASCAR might be thinking about possibly red flagging here. So again, Riley Herbst now going to the safety vehicles. He climbed down okay. Tiebreaker Kentucky came into the race 4th in points and had a fairly decent start to the year. This was we were just the stick crash in the biggest of the day. This is our 4th yellow flag of the day. Only the second one for calls. The other 2 were for stage break ending.
Oh,
Shane
okay.
Ginsburg is still being shown as the leader in the second place car. Austin Hill and Parker Clear. And AJ Allmendinger got all the way back to 5th. And Ty Gibbs down to 7th. Can't be happy. Even though Shane Van Gisbergen is his teammate. I mean, Van Gisbergen went in there and he took them way outside, carried them completely past the road strips. Well, Mark, and I'm not don't mean to defend Shane Van Gisbergen. I think though it was not an illegitimate move at that point. No, again, he's protecting the left side. He needs to make sure they don't get a big run around him on the outside. And I think that if you switch spots, AJ does the same thing. If you switch with Ty Gibbs is going to do the same thing. Probably get his best deal of all this on the restart there. Well, I think describing turn number 1 may help some of our listeners to understand just why this absolutely transpired. The outside of the racetrack in turn 1 is literally a little bit more than, or just a little bit less than a half circle, so it's completely rounded. The inside of turn 1 comes to a point.
What? Oh, Adrian.
It's
No,
been a race
Adrian
dominated by the
got
Colleague
away.
Chevrolet, so together they have led 38 laps out of the 6 that we have ran here so far. So it's been a pretty good day here for Colleague racing.
And Austin Hill, Doug, is smack dab in the middle of a chance to win his 3rd race in the opening 5 here on the Xfinity Series in 2024. He won back-to-back at Daytona and Atlanta. Of course, John Hunter Nemechek won at Vegas. Chandler Smith with a dominant win at Phoenix. But Austin Hill, he's been there in the top 5 all day, but hasn't shown anything to go up there and fight with Gibbs or Allmendinger or Larson or Shane Van Gisbergen, but he was very aggressive in turn 1 on that restart, fought his way up to that number 2 spot. He doesn't have a whole lot to lose either.
You know, I'm looking at another car that has moved way up through the pack. I don't think he's got a chance to win it. But Kyle Larson, remember, he came in during the first caution for cause today and pitted because he said, my tires are flat spotted, they're junk, I need new ones. He has fought his way from the back of the pack all the way up to 13th. And I got a feeling he might pick up a few more spots before it's all over.
NASCAR now showing us where the violation came for AJ Allmendinger on the track limits. And again, Doug, also take a look at Sam Mayer. He won 3 road races last year. And there he is. His car's all beat to pieces, but he's currently running in the 4th spot as we go back down to O'Reilly Auto Parts pit reporter Brett McMillan.
Hi, here with Bruce Slickers, the crew chief for Shane Van Gisbergen. How are your nerves right now? Shot. is the only word I got for that. Man, that dude's so good behind the wheel of a road course car. So I like our odds here. Just need to get this thing finished. So.
Was it you listened to the debate whether to restart on the left side or the right side? Left side seemed to work. You think that's the best move again?
I don't want to give our cards away, but probably.
Good luck rest of the way, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
That's Bruce Licker. He's the crew chief, but you heard him say his nerves are pretty much shot. Whitney Venturini.
I have two takers on pit road. It's going to be Ty Gibbs, who said they had fallen back to 7th. They might as well come in and take tires. Also coming down pit road, AJ Allmendinger. He had fallen back to the 5th spot, and they needed to save fuel. Heather DeVoe.
Justin Allgaier also in on my end. There was some discussion on whether or not they could make it on fuel, but the team opted now would be the time to pit. There's still a few different laps, sections we can maybe make it up on these guys, so they came down as well for service.
I think if we go another round, Mark, Shane Van Gisbergen is going to be in a precarious position because you've had some good cars come in and get fresh tires. Kyle Larson being one of them. Ty Gibbs just came in. I think Ty may be so far out of this he can't get back in time. But every time there's a caution, that hurts Shane Van Gisbergen's chances.
Could find himself in a pickle here at the end. Remember, Jesse Love at Atlanta dominates and dominates and dominates and didn't get enough fuel, didn't have enough fuel to make it through the second overtime period, ran out of fuel and lost the race. You can't pit. You gotta, you're leading the thing, you gotta go for it. And right now, Shane Van Gisbergen could find himself in that same position.
A curious ending here shaping up today at the end of this particular event. The Focused Health 250 back to work tomorrow with a lot more action in the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix for the NASCAR Cup Series, which we covered qualifying today.
William Byron, the pole sitter. Ty Gibbs will share the front row. Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, row 2. Row 3 in that race tomorrow is going to be Corey LaJoy. He was the big upset guy here in qualifying today. Ross Chastain 6th. Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, the top 10. You look down through there and you're looking, and there, way down at the bottom, you're going to find Joey Logano, 35th. That was a big surprise.
Joey Logano struggling mightily here at the start of this season. We'll be talking about that a little bit more tomorrow. They're going to choose the next time by as we're once again getting down to running out of laps here, and the sun continues to set a little bit more. We're going to get done before dark, but still, just thought we'd throw a little drama in there.
Well, you say that now.
I do say that now. It takes a long time to run a caution lap at this place. 3.4 miles when you're out there just kind of chugging around. We'll wait. The next time by, it'll be 2 to go.
The pit road speed today, by the way, is, as I look at it, I had it right here a second ago, just kind of fell off my screen, but I believe it's 30 miles an hour, pace car running 40, that kind of thing, so it does take a long time to get around.
And we're watching right now, Pat Patterson, you got an eyeball on the pace car out there?
Just barely, because you can barely see it from blowing all the kitty litter around as they're trying to clean up everything back over in that area. A lot of oil on the racetrack and a lot of oil along where they've tried to drag the cars that were involved in all of that. But nevertheless, yes, the pace car is right up in front of me right now, and it looks like that they have made their choices as to how this group is going to line up and restart here. They're trying to get all of the safety equipment back to where it safely needs to be. But the lights are off on the pace car as they come around turn number 12 now. Everybody forming up, and I think they're going to get all of the safety equipment out of the way. But Shane Van Gisbergen up here has got a real chore in front of him as he's going to have Sam Mayer to his outside. Parker Kligerman is right there. Austin Hill in that second row as we get lined up for what might be the final restart of this race. Sage Karam also in the middle of this. And I'll tell you, Brad Gilly, you got to wonder at this point, especially when they get back on the backstretch again, with all of that stuff that got blown around over there, what's in their minds? But Van Gisbergen is going to go for all he's got.
Yeah, I would agree, Pat. It's probably going to be a big cloud back there for sure. Speaking of clouds, they're covering the sun right now. About 15 minutes ago, it dropped probably a good 10 to 15 degrees here in Coda. Not sure what kind of issue or what that will do to the race cars out there on the racetrack, but we do know we have a new Geico restart zone just out of turn number 20, and I'm sure we're about to find out once again whether that was a good idea to move it back the way that they did. Right now they are stacked up behind that Toyota GR Super Pace car. Shane Van Gisbergen will restart on the inside of Sam Mayer. Then you've got Austin Hill, and Parker Kligerman. Those are a couple of affiliated teammates. Austin Hill with Richard Childress Racing, Parker Kligerman with Big Machine Racing. They're all up there on that campus in Welcome, North Carolina. The Toyota GR Supra headed down to pit road. We're about to hit the Geico restart zone.
2 laps to go here at Circuit of the Americas. That's a total of 40 turns to decide who goes away with the trophy here today at Circuit of the Americas. Green flag is out. Shane Van Gisbergen gets the jump on the one machine of Sam Mayer.
Van Gisbergen goes all the way to the pit wall, coming up the hill into turn number 1. They're 4 wide entering the corner. Brakes hard on the binders is Austin Hill. He'll go to the inside of Van Gisbergen. He'll shove him to the outside. Looks like Austin Hill may have the race lead off of turn 2.
He indeed does. Coming out of 2 and down the hill, Van Gisbergen is 2 wide with Sage Karen for second as Austin Hill is pulling away for the 2-car lead as cars are making contact to the edges but staying straight. In fact, Jesse Love has to shoot the gap there and go out of the track limits. Austin Hill in the lead.
Austin Hill leads into my section for the first time, makes a left as he heads up the hill toward turn 8, which was just freshly cleaned, so we'll cut it tight. He gets through turn 8 up the hill with Shane Van Gisbergen in hot pursuit. 20 seconds behind him.
Sage Karam had that second spot, but he didn't keep it for very long. Shane Van Gisbergen motored his way, muscled his way by. They're fanning out behind the leaders, going 2 or 3 wide. In fact, Kyle Larson's going to go 3 wide, trying to take the 5th spot away from Parker Kligerman and Sam Mayer. He's going to do that. But it's Austin Hill, your race leader, moving to driver's left. But Shane Van Gisbergen is starting to close. Pat, the advantage is about 6 car lengths here in the closing lap.
How hard will Van Gisbergen drive into 12 here to get to the bumper of Austin Hill? He's coming in hard and tight, and right now he'll be about a half a car length back. Can't make a move. Sage Karam gets outmaneuvered now. He'll lose the 3rd spot. Meanwhile, the battle up front. Here comes Van Gisbergen, a half a car length back on the 21 of Austin Hill. Hill now will lead him into turn number 15. A half a car length back is Van Gisbergen as they race to the bridge and race for the win.
Underneath the Echo Park Automotive Bridge, here comes Big Country, Austin Hill. He is losing that lead right now to Shane Van Gisbergen. The gap, less than a car length now as they head downhill toward turn number 19. Austin Hill able to gap him just a little bit. Hard left turn right here. Van Gisbergen now right on his back bumper. They're going to hit the left-hander in the front stretch.
As they work their way through that left-hander, they're going to have one more lap here at the Circuit of the Americas. Right on the back bumper of Austin Hill, Shane Van Gisbergen chases him across the start-finish line back to turn number 1.
Van Gisbergen lost the race lead in turn number 1. Could he get it back in the exact same spot? Austin Hill very wide into the turn. That allows him to keep the lead through turn number 1. Van Gisbergen goes to his left. They head downhill into 2. Now that hard right-hander.
And Van Gisbergen takes way more speed down the hill. He looks to the right side of Austin Hill's car. They get almost 2 wide, but get back into line there as they go into turn number 4. Van Gisbergen all over Hill. Hill making that car wide through the hedges and maintaining the track limits here. Final time, he is knocking on the door, Van Gisbergen is.
Hill still in the lead as he makes the left turn up the hill toward turn 8. Shane Van Gisbergen in pursuit. This has been one of his best corners throughout the day. Gets to the bumper but can't quite make any contact with Austin Hill as they go down the hill for the final time.
Out of turn number 10, Austin Hill is not buckled under the pressure, but this is now a 3-car race for the lead. Shane Van Gisbergen is there, but here comes Kyle Larson with those fresh Goodyear tires. He is all over the back bumper of Shane Van Gisbergen, but Van Gisbergen's got a nice charge out of turn 11. He's trying to run down Austin Hill. Hill moves to driver's left. He's going to protect the inside, and he's going to hold that spot, Pat, as they head to you in 12.
It's Austin Hill out front. Here comes Van Gisbergen, but new tires on Young Money's car as he dives into turn number 12. Can Kyle Larson make a move? Can he move Van Gisbergen out and catch the 21 car as they come up into 13? Once again, Hill driving masterfully to the outside. Van Gisbergen right on his bumper. Kyle Larson right on Van Gisbergen's button. Down they button into turn 15. Brad, it's going to be anybody's race off of 15. Here comes Shane Van Gisbergen, but it's Kyle Larson making the pass.
Best thing for Austin Hill right now? Well, the worst thing now, because Kyle Larson actually just took the lead away. Austin Hill now running in the second spot. Shane Van Gisbergen's dropped down to third on fresh tires. Turn number 19, the left-hand corner. Kyle Larson now able to pull away
away from the field. The final battle is for second.
Kyle Larson will make the race-winning pass on the last lap as he gets around Shane Van Gisbergen. It's Kyle Larson winning here at the Circuit of the Americas. Shane Van Gisbergen will hang on and get second. And third place will go to Austin Hill.
Looks like Hill and Gisbergen. Wow, the only lap that Kyle Larson led was the one that counted. He gets the win, and the Focused Health 250 will come back for post-race interviews and a final rundown.
Bundling and saving with Geico is an easy choice, so you're free to ponder life's big questions, like what's the best animal?
That would have been the finish right there. Shane would have won that if he didn't have fresh tires. The race is over. It's fine. He might get another chance tomorrow or later on. Okay, we're gonna end it off here.